Chapter 2656. Damn it, he wasn't dead. How was that possible? The black-robed figures in the sky retreated to a certain distance, but they didn't leave immediately. They knew that the two invincible kings had entered the spirit boat and were fighting. That gave them a glimmer of hope. After all, the two invincible kings had joined forces, while the other side only had a heavily injured elder and two seven-star experts. With such strength, how could he possibly contend against it? Perhaps Leif Daudenier had already been killed in Massachusetts. Of course, that was only their guess. They wanted to see Leif Daudenier's corpse with their own eyes. However, things greatly exceeded their expectations. They didn't see Leif Daudenier's corpse, but he was alive. How was that possible? The invincible king's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Impossible! Green Robe and Black Hammer went in personally. Where were the two of them? Indeed, their companions had entered the spirit boat, but why hadn't they killed Leif Daudenier? And why hadn't the two of them come out yet? After Leif Daudenier and the chief enforcer came out, Lin Xian also came out. He looked at the countless black-robed figures in the distance and sneered. What? Are you still waiting for the two invincible kings? They're here. With that, he waved his hand, and the two corpses flew out and landed on the ground. What was that? The Yi family elder was shocked and looked carefully. The countless black-robed figures in the sky were shocked. Dead? Green Robe and Black Hammer were killed. Damn it, could there be other invincible kings in the spirit boat? They didn't dare to believe it. The elders of the Yi family also cried out in alarm. Those were the corpses of invincible kings. Their faces were also filled with astonishment. Leif Daudenier and the four elders with him were even more shocked. They looked at Lin Xian with disbelief. They had seen with their own eyes Lin Xian and the two invincible kings surrounded by a formation. They had been worried about Lin Xian's safety, but now Lin Xian had killed two invincible kings. Damn it! Damn it! This scene made them feel as if they were dreaming. In the sky, those black-robed men roared madly. Their plan had failed. Their plan had been perfect, and they had deployed so many invincible kings that Leif Daudenier was in a dire situation. Logically speaking, no matter how powerful the other party was, it would be difficult for him to escape. But now they had actually failed. Damn it! Who the hell is this brat? It's him. He's the one who messed up all my plans. That's right. If Lin Xian hadn't appeared, their plan would have been perfect. Leif Daudenier would definitely be killed. However, the appearance of this person in front of them completely disrupted their plans. Leif Daudenier was still alive, and none of them had taken advantage of him. Instead, it completely infuriated the Yi family. When the clan chief saw that Leif Daudenier was alive and well, he breathed a sigh of relief. The next moment, he snorted coldly, and a piercingly cold light burst out from his eyes, turning into thousands of divine lights. Disciples of the Yi family, listen up! Kill them all! He had to find out who the mastermind was. With that order, the elders, experts, and young geniuses all moved out. The sage in the sky even reached out a palm that covered 5 million miles, completely enveloping everyone. The Yi clan retaliated. Run! The black-robed men screamed like madmen, and many of them hurriedly drew on their sacred weapons in an attempt to resist. However, the sage of the Yi family was simply too strong. He swept through everything, apart from the areas covered by the sacred weapons, which were temporarily able to resist. Everything else was destroyed. The black-robed men were reduced to a bloody mist, and their souls were extracted and collected by the Yi family elders. However, their cultivation levels were too low, and they didn't know the core secrets. In the blink of an eye, their souls were destroyed. The Yi clan had launched a powerful counterattack. Great Protector Lin Xian and the others were also extremely shocked. As expected of a clan of the primordial ancients, a clan of the primordial emperors, They were truly terrifying. However, none of this had anything to do with them. Once the Yi clan got their hands on the truth, all they had to do was ask. Off to the side, Leif Daudenier and the others were taken to the Yi clan's forbidden area to recuperate. As for the clan chief, he led the elders, experts, and disciples of the Yi clan to receive Lin Xian, the chief enforcer, and the others in the grandest fashion. It couldn't be helped. Lin Xian had become their savior this time. If it weren't for him, Leif Daudenier would have been killed. They couldn't bear the consequences. Thank you for your help. Hall Master Lin, the Yi clan's clan chief, personally welcomed him. The Yi clan's clan chief was too polite. Lin Xian cupped his hands and walked forward side by side with the Yi clan's clan chief. In Hui Hong's main hall, there were songs and dances, and all kinds of rare fruits were placed on display. The elders of the Yi clan were extremely grateful. After 3 rounds of wine, both sides were very happy. At this moment, Lin Xian said, "Yi clan's clan chief, I came to the eastern wilderness this time because I have something to discuss with you." "What is it?" "Hall Master Lin, as long as the Yi clan can do it, we will definitely not refuse." "Thank you very much." Lin Xian's lips curled up. It seemed that the Yi clan was indeed loyal. "I came to join forces with the Yi clan because I received news of the nest of 10,000 dragons." "What? News of the nest of 10,000 dragons?" Hearing this, the elders of the Yi clan were also surprised. The Yi clan's clan chief was stunned. Then he waved his hand and said to the dancing beauties, "You all can leave first." "Yes, clan chief." The beautiful disciples of the Yi clan quickly retreated. Only Lin Xian, the great guardian, and the others were left in the main hall, the elders and experts of the Yi clan. "Hall Master Lin, to be honest, we also know some information about the nest of 10,000 dragons, but we don't know the specifics. We only know that it seems to have been rumored in Zhongzhou for many years, but no one has really seen it." The Yi clan's clan chief frowned. He thought that Lin Xian wanted to ask him about the nest of 10,000 dragons. However, Lin Xian smiled and said, "This time, I received accurate information. I can definitely find the nest of 10,000 dragons." "What? Accurate information? Are you sure?" The Yi clan's clan chief also gasped. The elders and experts of the Yi clan were even more shocked. Of course, Lin Xian briefly explained how he got it. When everyone heard that the news of the nest of 10,000 dragons came out together with the Yuhua immortal robe, they believed it. They knew how big the commotion caused by the Yuhua immortal robe was. However, they didn't expect that Lin Xian would actually obtain news of the nest of 10,000 dragons during that opportunity. The nest of 10,000 dragons was of great importance. Once it appeared, it would affect the entire true spirit continent. At that time, not only would it be a matter of Zhongzhou, but also the eastern wasteland, western desert, southern mountains, and northern plains. Countless sacred grounds, and sects would be alarmed. That scene would definitely be more spectacular than exploring ancient tombs. Moreover, even if they found the nest of 10,000 dragons, it would definitely not be easy to break the seal of the nest of 10,000 dragons. This was an extremely difficult project. Chapter 2657. My immortal palace can't swallow it alone, so I want to make some allies. The Yi family is my first stop. Good. My Yi family is willing to join forces to explore the nest of 10,000 dragons. Yi family head laughed. They were already very happy that Yi Wudao's life was not in danger. They didn't expect to receive an unexpected surprise. They learned about the nest of 10,000 dragons. The nest of 10,000 dragons was rumored to be the burial place of the dragon race. Dragons were mystical creatures, and they knew it very well. It was the most terrifying race among the beasts. The burial place of the dragon race must have endless natural treasures, and even many of the dragon race's great divine abilities. Perhaps there were endless dragon veins. All of this was extremely tempting for humans like them. Lin Xian was also happy because, although Immortal Palace was powerful, it also had its drawbacks. Firstly, the Immortal Palace he controlled was only the tip of the iceberg, and he couldn't mobilize all of its strength. Moreover, Immortal Palace had just appeared in the world. Although they had done some shocking things, their appeal was definitely not as strong as the Yi family. Moreover, he had many enemies, such as the Taiyi dynasty, the Yin-Yang sect, the Five Elements Palace, the War Race, and so on. They were all shocking, great forces. When the time came, these people would definitely join forces. Therefore, there would only be many benefits and no disadvantages if he formed an alliance with the Yi family now. Next, Lin Xian, the Yi family head, and a group of elders began a close meeting. This meeting lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. 3 days later, Lin Xian and the others got up and left because they had reached an agreement. When the time came, they would join forces to hold a grand meeting and invite the sect masters and sacred lords of the various holy lands and sects in the world to come here to discuss. Hall Master Lin, this time, my Yi family owes you a huge favor. If you need any help in the future, don't hesitate to ask. The Yi family head led a group of Yi family experts out to send them off. Good. Lin Xian nodded with a smile. Yi family head, there's no need to send us off. We'll take our leave. As he spoke, he and the other 2 entered the Black Earth and left. After leaving the Yi family, the 6 protectors heaved a sigh of relief. This time, it was really too dangerous. Who were these black-clothed men? They don't know yet. Lin Xian shook his head. There was no need to rush. With the Yi clan attacking with all their might, these black-clothed men would definitely end up in a miserable state. When the time came, all he had to do was ask Leaf Daudenier about them. By the way, Abaddon, after what happened with Leaf Daudenier, we've come to the conclusion that you're being targeted by some mysterious people. Therefore, we will send you an invincible king, Xiao Wu. With that, the lady in the black dress stood up and bowed respectfully to Lin Xian. Greetings, Hall Master. An invincible king? Lin Xian was surprised. Then he smiled and said, "No need to be so polite." Xing Tian was currently busy gathering the nest of 10,000 dragons and couldn't be by his side. It would be good to get another invincible king to protect him. After all, many people had their eyes on him now, because his performance in the ancient tomb was too dazzling. Moreover, this time, he threw out the corpses of 2 invincible kings. If this matter were to spread, it would definitely shock the world. One had to know that he had a lot of enemies. The Yin-Yang sect, the Taiyi dynasty, the 5 palaces, and the War Race were all great sects of the Holy Lands. If these forces sent invincible kings to kill him, it might be very troublesome. Now that there was such a beautiful invincible king, Lin Xian felt much more at ease. Next, let's go to the Jade Pool. Lin Xian controlled the Black Earth and flew in the direction of the Jade Pool. The Jade Pool was the holy land where Murong Qingcheng was. He would definitely go there. Not only that, he would also make a trip to the Purple Dawn Holy Land. After all, Qingcheng and Shinjingqiu were both holy maidens. With their help and recommendation, Lin Xian could quickly get in touch with the 2 holy lands. As expected, when Lin Xian arrived at the Jade Pool and found Murong Qingcheng, she was shocked. Murong Qingcheng was also shocked. "Brother Xian, don't worry. I'll tell Master now." Not only was Murong Qingcheng the holy maiden of the Jade Pool, but she was also the last disciple of the Jade Pool's sacred leader. When the Jade Pool's sacred leader received the news, she also came out of seclusion in surprise and personally welcomed him. The Jade Pool's sacred leader was known as the Queen Mother of the West. She was a very dignified and beautiful woman. Greetings to the Queen Mother of the West. Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled. "Hall Master Lin, you're too polite. You're the owner of a shop, so you're on the same level as me." The Queen Mother of the West voice was very pleasant. "Hall Master Lin, please." "Queen Mother of the West, please." Lin Xian didn't dare to be careless at all because the Jade Pool's sacred ground was also very terrifying and had produced a great emperor. Moreover, there were extreme weapons in the Jade Pool. It could be said that the Jade Pool was as terrifying as the Yi family. Next, Lin Xian and the Queen Mother of the West had a meeting. When Lin Xian mentioned the news of the nest of 10,000 dragons, the Queen Mother of the West and all the elders of the Jade Pool were shocked. When they learned that Lin Xian had confirmed the news, their breathing quickened. I've already formed an alliance with the Yi family's patriarch before this trip. I wonder what the Queen Mother of the West thinks this time. Of course I'm willing. The Queen Mother of the West was also tempted. All of this was as Lin Xian had expected. Next, he discussed some details with the Queen Mother of the West and the others again. Then he stood up and prepared to leave. However, before leaving, Lin Xian looked at Murong Qingcheng. Queen Mother of the West, I hope you can give Qingcheng an invincible king level protector. Oh, why? The Queen Mother of the West was stunned. Every saint and saintess had a protector, but the protector was also based on the saint and saintess cultivation. Now, Murong Qingcheng's protector was a peak 8-star almighty. Of course, he had many trump cards in his hand, and he might even have a sacred weapon in good condition. After all, Murong Qingcheng's safety was very important. The Yi family's sacred body, Yi Wudao, is being hunted down. I think the eastern wilderness will not be peaceful recently. What? Yi Wudao is being hunted down? The Queen Mother of the West was shocked, and the elders of the Jade Lake sacred ground gasped. Hall Master Lin, is what you said true? That's impossible. The Yi family is a clan of the ancients. Who would dare to attack them? Moreover, they came to assassinate Yi Wudao. They all knew how important Yi Wudao was to the Yi family. Lin Xian said, It's true. I think the news will spread soon. You can ask around and find out. Seeing Lin Xian so sure, the Queen Mother of the West's expression turned serious. It seemed that the matter had really happened. She said, Don't worry, we will give Qingcheng an invincible king-level protector, and he will also have a sacred weapon in good condition. Before they figured out who attacked the Yi family, they did not dare to be careless. After all, the other party dared to attack the Yi family. Who knew if they would attack other geniuses? Brother Xian, where do you want to go next? Murong Qingcheng asked from the side. Lin Xian smiled. I'm going to the Purple Dawn's sacred ground. Master, I want to go with Brother Xian. Murong Qingcheng asked. Chapter 2658. The Queen Mother of the West nodded. She was at ease with Lin Xian by her side. Moreover, she was very satisfied with Lin Xian from the simple interaction just now. Perhaps it was possible for the two of them to become a couple. Next, Lin Xian bid farewell to the Queen Mother of the West and left the Jade Lake sacred ground with Murong Qingcheng. They headed to the Purple Glow sacred ground. The Purple Glow sacred ground. It was also a peerless sacred ground in the eastern wilderness. It was located in a fairyland. The purple qi that filled the sky was very beautiful. When Shen Jingqiu learned that Lin Xian and Murong Qingcheng were coming, she was very happy. She turned into a stream of light and rushed out. Brother Lin Xian, Miss Seductress, you're both here? She jumped into Lin Xian's arms happily. This scene made the male disciples of the Purple Glow sacred ground envious. They all widened their eyes and stared at Lin Xian with gritted teeth. Damn it, who is this guy? There were countless disciples in the Purple Glow sacred ground, but not everyone had seen Lin Xian before. Therefore, when they saw their saintess in the arms of a strange man, they were stunned. It's him. It's that kid. Damn it. I didn't expect him to come. Some people also recognized Lin Xian. What is he doing here? These people discussed animatedly, and many of them directly reported to the elders. Sure enough, the elders of the Purple Glow sacred ground came not long after. Who are you? How dare you be so rude to our saintess? When the elders saw this scene, they immediately blew their beards and glared. Lin Xian let go of Shen Jingqiu, looked into the distance, and said indifferently, "I am the master of the immortal palace, Lin Xian." The master of the immortal palace. The elders were stunned, and then they were extremely shocked. They had heard of his name, but it was the first time many of the elders had seen him. When they saw the beautiful figure beside him, they cried out in surprise. The Jade Lake Saintess. Lin Xian might be unfamiliar to them, but Murong Qingchen was no stranger to them. Both of them were from the Eastern Barren Territory, and the other party was the Saintess of the Jade Lake Sacred Ground. How could they not know each other? For a holy maiden and a hall master who was on par with their hall master to come together, it was likely that they had some important matters to discuss. They hurriedly said, "Please, gentlemen," soon. An elder invited them over. Even more people went to inform their holy masters. The young ones also went back to call for help. When the young geniuses of the Purple Dawn Holy Land found out that their holy maiden had actually thrown herself into someone else's arms, they gritted their teeth so hard that they almost shattered. "Damn it, who is it? No, I must teach him a good lesson." Among them, many peerless geniuses charged forward murderously. "It's him! It's him!" Many people pointed at Lin Xian and shouted from afar. Those peerless geniuses stared at Lin Xian and sneered. He was only a mid-stage 7-star king tier. What was the big deal? "I'm going to destroy him now." These people wanted to make a move. However, in the next moment, their eyeballs popped out, because they found that their holy masters had actually personally welcomed the other party. Oh my God! Are my eyes playing tricks on me? F***CK. Dream. I must be dreaming. How can he be on the same level as the holy masters? Damn it. Who is this kid? Those peerless geniuses also felt chills all over their bodies. Fortunately, they didn't have time to make a move. Otherwise, they would have been slapped to death by their holy masters. He seemed to be the immortal palace master, but this kid's strength wasn't that great. Many fifth-rank warriors gritted their teeth. When those peerless geniuses heard this, their faces turned green. What? The immortal palace master. The current immortal palace was no longer as mysterious as before. Ever since the ancient tomb battle, the name of Immortal Palace had gradually spread. They were all familiar with the great sex of the true spirit world. The other party was from Immortal Palace, and he was the Immortal Palace master. He was definitely a super genius, and his status was on the same level as their holy masters. Thinking of this, those peerless geniuses' faces turned ugly. "Damn it, do you want me to die?" They began to scold their junior brothers. Those junior brothers also had bitter looks on their faces. "Senior brother, we really don't dare to..." Lin Xian naturally didn't care about this small episode. At this moment, he brought Murong Qingchen, Shen Jingqiu, the Great Guardian, and the others to gather with the Purple Dawn Holy Land's Holy Master and a group of elders. Lin Xian went straight to the point, directly stating his intentions, because he knew that the other party wouldn't refuse. Sure enough, after hearing this news, the Purple Dawn Holy Land's Holy Master and elders were all fired up. Immediately, they decided to join forces with Lin Xian. "Hall Master Lin, you must be tired from the journey. Why don't you stay in the Purple Dawn Holy Land for a few days?" The Purple Dawn Holy Master invited. Lin Xian thought about it. Since he hadn't seen Murong Qingchen and Shen Jingqiu in a long time, he might as well stay here for a while. After all, he was going to leave the Eastern Wasteland and go to the other continents to join forces with the other holy lands. In the following days, Lin Xian, Murong Qingchen, and Shen Jingqiu enjoyed the magnificent scenery. This scene made the male disciples of the Holy Lands so envious that they wanted to die. Damn it. Not only did he manage to win over their holy daughter, but he even had the holy daughter of the Jade Lake by his side. He had 2 peerless beauties with him that made them go crazy with jealousy. This kid is too amazing. How did he do it? Even the Alcade Holy Sun and Leif Daudenier didn't receive such treatment. They were so curious that they wanted nothing more than to run over and ask for help. However, before they could do so, a shocking piece of news spread. Of course, it was about Leif Daudenier and the mysterious faction. The news that Leif Daudenier was being hunted down spread. The holy lands and sects of the eastern wasteland were shocked. Not only that, but the news also spread to the other continents. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it. The news had to be fake. Who would dare to hunt down Leif Daudenier? Leif Daudenier was the hope of the Yi clan. Touching him was touching the bottom line of the Yi clan. The Yi clan would definitely fight back at all costs. The Holy Lands, sects, and dynasties didn't believe it. However, after many inquiries, they discovered that the news was actually true. This scene caused their minds to go blank. What faction would dare to do such a thing? Could it be one of the three great assassin dynasties? The first thing they thought of was the three great assassin dynasties. They were the only ones who would dare to make a move on Leif Daudenier. After all, the three great assassin dynasties were rumored to have killed saints in ancient times. However, they soon discovered that it wasn't the three great assassin dynasties, but rather a very low-key and mysterious organization. Of course, they didn't know what it was. In fact, the Yi clan didn't know either. All of the black-robed men who had come had been killed by the Yi clan. The Yi clan had extracted their souls and used their divine abilities to soul-search them. However, in the end, they hadn't been able to find any useful information. The Yi clan was very surprised. Chapter 2659. They even tortured the souls of the undefeatable emperors and interrogated them. But in the end, they got nothing, because these people did not know at all. Who was it? They had hidden so deeply. The Yi family's elders all had gloomy expressions. From the looks of it, the other party had already calculated everything, even their escape route. Having such a hidden enemy made the Yi family very uncomfortable. In the future, when Wu Dao went out, they would send more invincible kings to follow him. They would bring intact holy weapons and some forbidden weapons. They could not let this happen a second time. This matter spread far and wide. Everyone was talking about it, because such a terrifying thing had never happened before. Lin Xian also received the news, so he asked the Yi family. The result surprised him. The Yi family did not know who the enemy was at all. This point gave Lin Xian a huge headache too. It seemed that the enemy was more terrifying and difficult to deal with than he had imagined. However, after this failure, the other party would not dare to act rashly again. The Yi family was not to be trifled with. This time, the Yi family killed all the black-robed men who participated in the pursuit. None of them escaped. Their methods were extremely fierce, and that mysterious organization did not have any follow-up measures. Therefore, Lin Xian temporarily put this matter aside. He stayed in the Purple Dawn sacred ground for a few days and prepared to leave, because he still had to go to the Gu family. Then he prepared to go to the Western Desert and contact Lanhua Temple, where Wu Hua was. This time, Lin Xian did not bring Xin Jingqiu or Morom Qingcheng because he wanted the two of them to cooperate with his sacred ground and prepare. After he was done, they could join forces to hold a grand event. Lin Xian went to the Gu family and met with Gu Santong. Then he discussed this matter with the Gu family's patriarch. The Gu family quickly agreed. Then Lin Xian opened a door and teleported to the Western Desert. Western Desert. The top forces here were mainly Buddhist sections. It could be said to be the sacred ground of all Buddhist sections. Lanhua Temple was one of the best. In the sky, a giant crack tore open. Countless runes flashed as a spirit ship crossed through space and time. It was the Black Earth. After all the energy dissipated, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon walked out of the Black Earth. Of course, Lin Xian knew that there was another person by his side. It was just that no one else could see it. It was the invincible king that the great protector had assigned to him. Xiao Wu, the woman in the black dress. Now, Xiao Wu was his protector. However, under normal circumstances, she would not appear. She would only silently follow him in the dark. Only when Lin Xian's life was in danger would she make a move. Lin Xian looked around and narrowed his eyes as he looked at the boundless golden desert. Looks like this is a huge desert. Let's leave this place first and explore the surroundings, the Crimson Dragon suggested. Next, the two of them turned into streams of light and flew forward. 2 days later, they left the desert. Mountains and forests gradually appeared in front of them. The species of trees here were completely different from those in the eastern wilderness and Zhongzhou. They were all drought-resistant and looked very strange. After flying for another 3 days, they saw mountains again. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. So far, he had not met a single person. Therefore, he did not know where he was either. However, the Crimson Dragon exclaimed softly, "Why do I feel that this place is a little familiar?" "Familiar? Have you been here before?" Lin Xian asked. "No, but this place was very similar to what was recorded in the ancient books." The Crimson Dragon shook his head. His body swayed and gradually rose into the sky. Then he pointed below and said, "Kid, come here. I'll tell you." Lin Xian was puzzled. He rose into the sky and looked into the distance. He was shocked. "How is it? Have you noticed it too?" "Yes, this place is very famous in the Western Desert. This place was called the Reclining Buddha Ridge. The mountain was like a giant Buddha lying on the ground. It was not man-made but formed naturally. It was very mysterious. It was said that many saints of the Buddhist holy lands in the Western Desert had come here to gain enlightenment. However, no one knew what exactly they gained. Moreover, it seemed that not only the Western Desert, but also the other continents had experts who came here to gain enlightenment. It was said that even the emperors of old had come here when they were young. So mysterious, Lin Xian was surprised. He did not expect that they would come to such a legendary place. "Is it dangerous here?" Lin Xian asked. Usually, such places were like forbidden areas. Even if they were not, they were still very scary. However, this time, the Crimson Dragon shook his head. It was not dangerous. There were no formations in this place. Occasionally, there would be a trace of a terrifying aura. However, under normal circumstances, it would not attack people. "Kid, why don't we go down and take a look? Maybe we can gain some enlightenment. Since we're here at a legendary place, it would be inappropriate to leave without taking a look." Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon flew forward quickly. Soon, they arrived near the giant Buddha. The two of them landed and saw that they were surrounded by cliffs. There were all kinds of marks and runes drawn on the walls. In short, it was very messy. The Crimson Dragon pointed at these marks and said, "These were all left behind by those who had gained enlightenment. However, don't underestimate these runes. It was said that someone once found a mark left behind by a great emperor here. Then he gained enlightenment and finally became a terrifying saint, left behind by a great emperor." There was such a thing. Lin Xian was shocked. He looked around, but he didn't find anything special. Of course, the great emperor that I mentioned was left behind by a great emperor when he was young. However, that was already very profound. Moreover, the younger the great emperor, the more ordinary the mark left behind. At their level, it was likely that they would have returned to simplicity long ago and turned complexity into simplicity. If a casual stroke could be developed, it would be thousands of worlds. So that's how it is. Lin Xian's heart skipped a beat. He used the heavenly secret god eyes, and golden runes appeared in his eyes. He looked in all directions. He decided to meditate here for a few days. A day later, Lin Xian was astonished. He had gained some enlightenment from these engravings, and it was very enlightening for his own martial cultivation. This made him very happy. However, just as he was about to continue comprehending, a powerful figure descended from the sky. An aura that seemed to be able to split the sky, and earth descended from the sky and swept in all directions. It wanted to crush Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. The two of them changed their expressions and snorted coldly. A sharp sword light rushed out from their bodies, and a terrifying light directly cut off the energy fluctuation. In the next moment, they looked up and frowned. Chapter 2660. They saw a young monk descending from the sky in front of them. He was wearing a kasaya and had a handsome face. However, there was an unusually sharp aura in his eyes. At this moment, he glanced at Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon and said coldly, "I want to meditate and cultivate here. Get lost, you ants." His voice was emotionless and cold. Within a radius of a few thousand miles, some figures quickly rose into the air and fled into the distance. It seemed that other than Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon, there were other people meditating here. However, after these people sensed the biting cold aura, their faces changed, and they did not dare to stay any longer. Some people even recognized the other party's identity and were scared witless. They quickly left. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon frowned. Who was this person? He was so arrogant and insolent. When the young monk saw that the others had fled, a cold smile appeared on his face. However, when he saw that Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon did not intend to leave, his face darkened. "You two ants, get lost. Disappear in front of my eyes in 3 seconds. Otherwise, I'll kill you." As soon as he said that, Lin Xian's face darkened. The Crimson Dragon jumped up. F***CK, who are you? How dare you talk to us like that? Believe it or not, Ben Huang will slap you to death. Lin Xian's expression was also cold. The two of them were meditating here and did not provoke the other party. However, the other party asked them to get lost as soon as he appeared. He even threatened to kill them. No one would be able to tolerate this, let alone Lin Xian. Courting death. Ignorant ants. The young monk was also angry. A small snake dared to clamber in front of him. He raised his finger and pointed forward. A piercing light tore through the sky and instantly arrived in front of the Crimson Dragon. Boom! The Crimson Dragon waved its dragon claws and slapped forward. A shocking sound was heard. He directly smashed the attack. He actually broke it. The young monk was stunned. He laughed coldly. "You have some strength. No wonder you dare to be so arrogant in front of me." However, just this bit of strength was not enough. He raised his palm and was about to attack. At this moment, the 1-pound Lin Xian also stepped forward. He raised his finger, and a sharp sword wave flew out. Since the other party dared to make a move, they couldn't blame him. Buzz, the sword chi pierced through the clouds, and a terrifying light filled the area. A terrifying force surged out. The fleeing martialists felt their scalps go numb when they saw this scene. Who was this person? He actually dared to attack Yuan Kuan. Did he not want to live anymore? These martial artists were very surprised. They were all from the Western Desert. Naturally, they knew this young monk and his reputation. Most likely, no one in the younger generation would dare to compete with him. However, this brat in front of him actually dared to make a move. He was simply too bold. Courting death, Feng's young monk was also enraged. A piercingly cold light surfaced in his eyes as countless runes rose from his palm. He slammed his palm down and shattered the terrifying sword chi. However, his palm was also numb from the impact. This surprised him. The other party was very strong. So strong that it was beyond his expectations. "Who are you?" he asked coldly. Judging from the other party's appearance, he should not be an unknown person. He should be a young prodigy. However, He knew all the young prodigies in the western desert. The other party was a stranger. He had never seen him before. Now, you know how to ask me who I am? Too late. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The other party had threatened to kill them. How could he tolerate that? So now he waved his arm and flicked his fingers. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Sword chi flew out one after another. Yuan Kun roared angrily. The other party dared to attack him. He was courting death. Kid, do you think you can be arrogant in front of me just because you have some strength? Today, I'll send you to hell. He formed a Buddhist seal with his palm. The Buddhist light on his body shone quickly, and a terrifying force surged out. However, Lin Xian's sword chi was also very powerful. The sword flew out and illuminated the area as if it had turned into a swimming dragon. Boom! The Buddhist light on Yuan Kun's body flickered. He formed a Buddhist seal with his hand and slammed it out. It collided with the sword chi again. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. A terrifying light swept in all directions. With this palm strike, he still managed to shatter the sword chi. However, the numbness in his arm became even more severe. Moreover, what shocked him even more was that the third, fourth, and fifth sword were flying towards him one after another. Damn it, who was this person? Was he a peerless swordsman? Why was the other party's sword chi so powerful? Yuan Kun was extremely surprised because he realized that the sword chi was not released by a peerless treasure. It was casually flicked out by the other party. This meant that the other party should not have used his full strength. Thinking of this, his expression was extremely cold. In the distance, the martial artists who were running away also felt their scalps go numb. In their opinion, since the other party dared to fight with Yuan Kun, he would definitely be slapped to death. But who would have thought that the other party could actually fight with Yuan Kun? This was really beyond their expectations. Who was this kid? Could it be that he was a peerless prodigy from some large family? It was very likely. However, no matter how talented he was dead for daring to provoke Yuan Kun. Yuan Kun was a top genius of White Horse Temple. His Buddha skills were extremely terrifying. That kid was so strong. A casual flick of the sword chi had such power. He must be a peerless swordsman. Everyone discussed animatedly. At this moment, Lin Xian made his move again. This time, he pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword. A terrifying sword light rushed into the sky. The sword slashed down. It cut the entire sky into two halves. The pitch-black crack was like an endless canyon. It was also the first time Yuan Kun's expression changed. This sword chi was too strong. So this time he did not resist it head-on. Instead, his body swayed, and he quickly dodged. Relying on his super powerful dermic powers, he dodged the sword. However, at this moment, his eyelids twitched wildly, because he felt an extremely terrifying power coming from behind him. Not good. In the next moment, he suddenly turned around and struck out with his palm. Boom. He was forced back, his aura tumbling. That damn snake. He gritted his teeth in anger. That's right, the one who attacked him from behind was the Crimson Dragon. The Crimson Dragon sent the other party flying with its tail and immediately sneered. Are we ants? Do we have a death wish? Kid, before you make a move, you should find out who we are. Do you think that you can contend against us with just you alone? The Crimson Dragon was also gritting its teeth in anger. The other party was too arrogant. He wanted to kill them as soon as he appeared. They were only retaliating to teach the other party a lesson. No way. This snake is also so powerful. When the warriors in the distance saw this scene, they were extremely shocked. Who are these people? They're so powerful. Yuan Kun's face was gloomy. Damn it, the other party is also a super expert. This is indeed beyond my expectations. However, he snorted coldly. Do you think the two of you can defeat me if you join forces? Stupid ants. I'll tear you into pieces today. Chapter 2661. Cut them into pieces? Lin Xian sneered. What a ruthless heart. You want to cut us into pieces without any enmity? Are you really a Buddhist? I think even the demons and demons aren't as ruthless as you, right? How can someone like you be called a Buddha? The Crimson Dragon sneered, as well. No matter what you two say, you two won't be able to escape death today. Yuan Kuen's expression was cold as Buddhist light spread out from his body. His hands danced nonstop as mysterious runes flickered around him one after another. Countless golden runes flickered, as if forming a mysterious world that swallowed all the sword light. Yuan Kuen stood in the void with a cold expression. What a powerful Buddhist divine power. It could actually swallow such a terrifying sword chi. Yes, this Yuan Kuen was too terrifying. The cultivators in the distance exclaimed when they saw this scene. Some of them had flickering eyes, wondering how the man and the snake were going to counterattack. They swallowed it all? Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect the other party to be so powerful. No wonder he was so arrogant and told everyone to get lost the moment he came. But so what? He had even killed an invincible king, let alone a mere young monk. Next, he waved the ancient dragon abyss sword, and terrifying sword chi flew out one after another. They were densely packed and crisscrossed between heaven and earth. It's useless. You can't hurt me at all. Yuan Kuen stood in the void. The golden runes around him formed a world that swallowed all the sword chi. He looked at this scene and sneered. Is that so? How do you think my sword chi is so easy to swallow? Lin Xian snorted. The power of the great dragon sword spirit was not something that could be easily swallowed. Sure enough, not long after, Yuan Kuen's expression changed. His figure flashed and instantly disappeared. The mysterious world formed by the golden runes exploded with a bang. Thousands of sword chi pierced out and shattered the place where Yuan Kuen was originally standing. It formed a terrifying black hole. Damn it. It actually came out. How is this possible? Although Yuan Kuen wasn't injured, he hit to the side with an extremely ugly expression. He found it hard to believe that the other party had broken his divine power so easily. The people in the distance screamed, as if they had seen a ghost. What kind of sword technique was this sword chi? This was too terrifying. That's right, he was actually able to break through even Yuan Kuen's sacred art. And from the looks of it, he was able to do it so easily. Incredible. He was definitely a peerless swordsman. It seems that if I don't show my true strength, you guys really don't know what's good for you. Yuan Kuen walked up and spat out a golden pagoda. The pagoda was 6 stories high, and it was engraved with very simple runes. As soon as it appeared, it emitted a heavy aura. Boom, boom. Strands of Buddhist light flowed out and pierced through the void. The terrifying power made those in the distance extremely terrified. Many people knelt on the ground, their bodies trembling. How terrifying! Yuan Kuen's strength was actually so terrifying. Oh heavens, he had definitely been hiding his strength. He was even more terrifying than the rumors said. Why do I feel that none of those older generation figures are a match for him? That wasn't all. Probably no one below the level of Invincible King Tears could defeat him. Why do I feel like he's close to becoming an invincible king? These people screamed in fear. There was nothing they could do. The power that Yuan Kuen had displayed was simply too terrifying. The Buddhist light that filled the sky floated out along with Yuan Kuen's palm. All of the sword chi in the sky were sent flying. In an instant, a terrifying sound rang out like 10,000 bolts of thunder. Yuan Kuen was like an ancient Buddha. With the 6-story pagoda in his hand, he quickly charged over. Kid, be careful. This guy isn't simple. The Crimson Dragon reminded from the side. Yuan Kuen's strength was definitely at the level of a saint. Moreover, he wasn't an ordinary saint. He was a very terrifying one. However, the corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up. It didn't matter. Indeed, although this strength was shocking, it wasn't enough to shock him. In the next moment, he clenched his left fist and punched out. The nine-yong divine body combined with the heaven-battling divine fist. The power of the supreme yong, an endless fist, exploded heaven and earth. It shattered all of the Buddha's light that approached it. The endless mountains in the surroundings were shaking. Countless cracks appeared on the ground. However, the vicinity of the reclining Buddha ridge was safe and sound. This was especially true for the great Buddha. Under the terrifying attack, it disappeared without a trace in front of him. People couldn't help but sigh in admiration. This was indeed a mystical place of legends. From the looks of it, even an invincible king's attack wouldn't be able to hurt Yuan Kuan at all. No wonder countless people had been comprehending here, and there wasn't a trace of damage. Lin Xian and Yuan Kuan began to fight. Both of them were geniuses of the younger generation. At this moment, their attacks were truly earth-shattering. The momentum was terrifying. The martial artists in the distance were terrified. They knew how powerful Yuan Kuan was, and it made them tremble. However, the strength of this young man, who had just appeared, also shocked them. "Kid, go to hell." At this moment, Yuan Kuan shouted loudly. He seized the opportunity and came behind Lin Xian. He stretched out a palm that carried a golden light that filled the sky and fiercely blasted towards Lin Xian. Not good. That kid is going to die. That was for sure. If he was hit by such a palm, he would definitely be smashed to pieces. Even if he didn't die, he would be seriously injured. As expected, Yuan Kuan was still more powerful. The people in the distance discussed animatedly. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Energy erupted, and this palm drowned out the world. Ha ha ha! This reckless kid dares to attack me? Yuan Kuan retreated into the sky and looked down coldly. Now that this kid was dealt with, it was time to deal with this snake. His gaze was like lightning as he stared at the crimson dragon. How dare he fight with him? How ignorant! The crimson dragon's eyes flickered, revealing a trace of a sneer. He didn't pay attention to Yuan Kuan at all. In the energy storm that filled the sky, a cold voice sounded. "Is this your strength? You're really pitifully weak." What? As soon as these words came out, Yuan Kuan was stunned. The people in the distance were even more stunned. That was the other party's voice. He didn't die, and from the looks of it, he didn't seem to have suffered much damage. How was that possible? Damn it, that was impossible. Yuan Kuan roared angrily. With a wave of his hand, a pair of golden hands stretched out and tore the void apart. The storm that filled the sky also disappeared. In the next moment, his eyes widened because the figure in front of him appeared. His body was shining brightly, and he wasn't injured at all. Impossible! Yuan Kuan was stunned. Even a late-stage 8-star mighty figure couldn't block his palm. The other party was hit head-on and suffered this blow, but he was still unharmed? It was really beyond his expectations. Even if he didn't die, he should be seriously injured. However, there was no blood on the other party's body, not a single crack. The power of the nine-yong divine body had increased again. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes, his heart filled with joy. In the next moment, a piercing light burst out from his eyes. "Next, I'll let you have a taste of my attack." At this point, he took a step forward, and the nine-yong divine body erupted. The storm that filled the sky tore through the void. At this moment, he was like a sun god of war as he charged forward. As he walked, the void collapsed and the mountain range below kept shattering. Just a trace of the aftermath caused such a terrifying scene. This scene made Yuan Kuan's heart beat rapidly. Chapter 2662. Bang! A golden fist streaked across the sky, causing countless cracks to appear in the void. Yuan Kuan jumped in fright and hastily summoned the sixth-floor pagoda to his side to block. Dang! The sound of collision resounded. The distant martial artists bled from their ears, and many of them fainted. As for those who were still conscious, their faces were filled with fear. They saw the sixth-floored pagoda being sent flying, spinning in the sky, and leaving Yuan Kuen's range. Heavens! That golden pagoda was at least a mid-grade heaven step artifact, yet it was sent flying with a single punch. What kind of power did this kid have? What fist? Saint body? He had Eastern Wasteland's saint body. Someone cried out in alarm. They couldn't think of anyone with such a terrifying physique apart from a saint body, facing a mid-grade heaven step artifact barehandedly. He wasn't at a disadvantage. It couldn't be. Wasn't it rumored that the saint body had just been chased down by the mysterious organization and was recuperating in the Yi family? How could he appear now? These people also knew about Yi Daodenier's matter, as it had already spread throughout the entire true spirit continent. Therefore, they were all shocked. A few older generation figures shook their heads. No, he wasn't a saint body. We've seen a portrait of a saint body, and it definitely wasn't him. Then, who was he? Was there a physique comparable to a saint body in the world? Of course there was. An older generation figure said in a deep voice, although a saint body was powerful and astonishing, it wasn't impossible to stand shoulder to shoulder with him. One had to know that the true spirit continent was too vast. No one knew how big it was, and no one knew how many terrifying geniuses there were in this world. Apart from saint bodies, there were many other terrifying physiques. For example, Gu family's divine body, demonic race, those powerful demonic kings with heaven-defying bloodlines. Take my Western Desert, for example. There are several body refining techniques that are extremely terrifying. 60 Zhang golden body, indestructible golden body, 9 transformations golden body. Once it was refined, it would be extremely terrifying and incomparable. Indeed, many people nodded their heads after hearing this. Western Desert was the holy land of Buddhism, and Buddhism placed great importance on the cultivation of the body. Basically, every peak holy land of Buddhism had an extremely terrifying body refining technique. However, the body refining technique of Buddhism was extremely obvious. Once it was used, it would release Buddhist light and even Buddhist chants. However, although his body was also emitting boundless light, it was not the Buddhist light. Thus, they knew that he was not cultivating a Buddhist body refinement technique. Instead, it was a technique that they had never heard of before. Or perhaps he possessed an extremely terrifying bloodline power. Boom. Just as these people were discussing intensely, Lin Xian's second punch came. Damn it! Yuan Kuen's pupils shrank. After witnessing the terror of the first punch, he didn't dare to take it head-on. His figure flickered, and countless afterimages appeared in the sky as he retreated rapidly. At the same time, he waved his hand and summoned the golden pagoda that had been sent flying backward, preparing to attack again. Phew, this punch had indeed missed. However, when the frightening energy swept across Yuan Kuen's body, it caused him to feel a burning pain. Brat, you've really pissed me off. Today, I will let you experience the great powers of my White Horse Temple. Yuan Kuen's expression was ferocious. He had never suffered such a blow. Therefore, he was prepared to take it seriously. However, in the next moment, his eyelids twitched violently. This was because an unparalleled power had erupted from his opponent's sword. There was even the roar of a dragon. His expression became extremely ugly because his opponent's sword chi was even more terrifying than the golden fist. As expected, when the sword slashed out, his entire body turned cold. The golden pagoda in his hand was sent flying again. Cracks also appeared on the kasaya on his body. He simply couldn't believe what he was seeing. This kasaya was also a treasure, but it couldn't withstand the other party's sword light. This was only the aftermath of the energy. If the other party's sword had slashed his body, he would probably have been cut open. Thinking of this, he quickly retreated. "Brat, who are you? Tell me your name." However, what answered him was a cold and merciless sword light. "Damn it!" Yuan Kun roared angrily and quickly dodged. "Just you wait. My White Horse Temple will definitely not let you off." Yuan Kun was so angry that he vomited blood. This time, he had really lost. It made him lose face. However, protecting his life was more important. He was prepared to leave. When he returned, he would bring a few terrifying forbidden artifacts and come back to fight with the other party. "You want to leave?" Seeing this scene, Lin Xian sneered. "Weren't you very arrogant when you descended previously? Didn't you tell us to scram? Why are you scramming now?" Buffed. Hearing this, the escaping Yuan Kun's body trembled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Indeed, when he came previously, he was extremely arrogant and didn't take anyone seriously. That was because he had the right to be arrogant. At such a young age, he could already kill a late-stage 8-star powerhouse. In fact, not many people below the invincible king realm were his match. Other than a few other terrifying young prodigies of the Buddhist sects, he really didn't take anyone seriously. Therefore, after he arrived, he immediately cleared the place. He didn't want others to disturb him. However, he didn't know that when he cleared the place this time, the ant in his eyes turned out to be an extremely terrifying prodigy. This time, he had really kicked an iron plate. "How dare you stop me?" Seeing the other party cut off the path in front of him with a sword, Yuan Kun turned his head and roared. "Why wouldn't I dare?" Lin Xian's body was filled with murderous intent. Yuan Kun frowned when he saw the other party's murderous intent. He sneered. "Let me tell you, I'm from the White Horse Temple. Moreover, I'm a top prodigy of the White Horse Temple." If he revealed his identity, the other party would definitely not dare to make a move on him. The White Horse Temple was one of the Buddhist sacred grounds of the Western Desert. It was not inferior to the sacred grounds of the Eastern Wilderness. As one of the top 10 prodigies of the White Horse Temple, his status was naturally noble. If anything happened to him, the White Horse Temple would definitely not let him off. White Horse Temple. I've never heard of it. Are you the White Horse Temple's successor? As he spoke, Lin Xian slashed out with his sword again. This sword transformed into a huge dragon that instantly flew out and slashed Yuan Kun's body. It sent him flying. Yuan Kun's body was directly cut open. Blood spurted out and dyed the void red. Yuan Kun screamed and retreated crazily. At the same time, his broken body quickly healed with Buddhist light. In the end, he was completely intact. However, his face was abnormally pale. Blood was still splattering in the sky. This scene made the people in the distance go crazy. He's making a move. He's really making a move. Heavens! Isn't he really planning to kill the other party? Who is he? He's too terrifying. Isn't he afraid of the White Horse Temple's revenge? He shouldn't be from the Western Desert. The eyes of some of the older generation flickered. He's probably a top prodigy from the other continents. It seems that Yuan Kun has been defeated this time. Chapter 2663. Is he a top genius from another continent? The cultivators gasped. Yuan Kun's face was ferocious. "Kid, how dare you hurt me?" Before he could finish his sentence, he turned around and fled. That was because the other party had attacked again. After witnessing how powerful the other party was, how would Yuan Kun dare to attack him again? He immediately used a Buddhist grand divine ability. Boundless Buddhist light formed 2 golden wings that quickly spread out behind him. He tore through the void and ran into the distance. Trying to leave? Lin Xian used Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps. A dragon shadow appeared under his feet and brought him through the void quickly. The two of them quickly left reclining Buddha Ridge, one after another. Seeing this scene, the Crimson Dragon also followed behind. The others were stunned. Heavens, is the other party really going to kill us? They were extremely shocked. They also followed behind, wanting to watch the battle. But soon, they lost track of them. That was because the two of them were simply too fast. The cultivators could not see it, but the other cultivators could see it. Many cultivators looked up at the sky. Heavens, someone is fighting a great battle. It should be a late-stage 8-star powerhouse. No, it's two young people. Two young prodigies. Why does the one running at the front look so familiar? Damn it, isn't he Yuan Kuan from Whitehorse Temple? He's a top genius. Why is he being chased? Who's chasing him? For a moment, everyone was stunned. Yuan Kuan is being chased? Who is it? They all looked at the figure behind him. He's so young and unfamiliar. I don't know him. If he's not a Buddhist, which family is he from? These people discussed animatedly. Bang! Just at this moment, they saw a shocking sword light flash out and slash Yuan Kuan's body, sending him flying and vomiting blood. Blood pierced through the void. This scene made everyone's scalp tingle. It's too powerful. Kid, just you wait. I won't let you go. Yuan Kuan's kasaya was covered in blood. His face was ferocious. He gritted his teeth and took out a Buddhist light wheel. The bright light enveloped him, and he disappeared completely. Seeing this, Lin Xian did not attack again because the other party had used a life-saving trump card. The next time we meet, I won't let you leave so easily. He snorted coldly and did not pursue. A mere genius was no threat to him at all. Thinking of this, he turned his head to look at the Crimson Dragon flying behind him. Let's go. The Crimson Dragon nodded. With a wave of its dragon claw, it grabbed a few cultivators beside it. The martial artists were scared out of their wits. They quickly begged for mercy. Hero, please don't kill us. We're just passing by. Don't be nervous. I won't kill you. You just have to tell me how to get to Lanrua Temple. Lanrua Temple? These people were shocked. The other party had just beaten up a genius from Whitehorse Temple, and now he was going to Lanrua Temple? What was he trying to do? Could it be that they also wanted to declare war on Lanrua Temple? They didn't know, but they didn't have time to think about it. One of them hurriedly took out a scroll. It was a map that contained the way to Lanrua Temple. Lin Xian probed with his soul and found a map. Then he waved his hand and let them go. They hurriedly left. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon turned into two streaks of light and disappeared. Yuan Kuan had been injured and fled. This created quite a huge commotion that quickly spread. Even Lanrua Temple knew about it. This made them very nervous. Not long ago, the Yi family's sacred physique was hunted down in the eastern wilderness. Now, a genius from Whitehorse Temple in the western desert was being hunted down. This was very shocking. Could it be that the mysterious faction was going to make a move on a genius from the western desert? They were all on high alert. After the people from Whitehorse Temple learned about it, they quickly sent experts to rescue Yuan Kuan. At the same time, they quickly searched and decided to kill the culprit. However, after searching for a while, they did not find any traces of Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. This made them grit their teeth in anger. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon also arrived at Lanrua Temple. At this moment, Lanrua Temple was still shining with Buddhist light, and many runes appeared around it. Obviously, they had also become cautious. The arrival of Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon caused 6 monks to walk out of the light. They held the Chi Mei staff in their hands and looked forward coldly. The people stopped. Who are you? Why are you here at Lanrua Temple? They were extremely nervous. Lin Xian said in a deep voice, I am Lin Xian, the master of the Immortal Temple. I am a good friend of your saint, Wu Hua. Lin Xian, the immortal temple? Hearing that, the 6 monks' expressions changed. Please wait a moment. We will report it. They hurriedly went to report it. Not long after, a loud laugh was heard. Countless Buddhist runes formed a Buddhist flower and dragged a young monk away quickly. Brother Lin, haha, it's you? Long time no see. After seeing Lin Xian, Wu Hua exclaimed in surprise. They met again. Lin Xian also smiled. Brother Lin, come with me. Wu Hua waved his kasaya, and all the Buddhist arrays immediately opened up a path. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon followed in. Wu Hua brought the 2 of them to a quiet place. There were mountains, rivers, and courtyards here. Come, Brother Lin, try the spiritual tea that I brewed myself. The 2 of them came to the stone pavilion and sat down. There were 4 exquisite dishes on the stone table. They were all vegetarian dishes, and there was a pot of spiritual tea next to them. Delicious. Lin Xian tasted it and found it surprisingly delicious. He didn't expect Brother Wu Hua to have such skills. The Crimson Dragon at the side finished all the food. Little monk, do you have more? He was very happy. Wu Hua said with a smile, Yes, I have enough. Soon, he waved his hand, and exquisite dishes appeared on the table again. At the same time, he took out a guqin and gently played it. The sound of the guqin was pleasant and very comfortable. It even carried a mysterious power. Lin Xian felt that he had entered an unprecedentedly relaxed and peaceful state. The Crimson Dragon at the side was also surprised. This Wu Hua was really amazing. His attainments in the Buddhist Dharma were so high, he would probably become a holy monk in the future. The sound of the guqin here was melodious. On the other side, the sound of the guqin was also pleasant. This was a mountain. A man in a blue robe was holding a phoenix guqin in his hand and gently playing it. Around him, cranes were flying and spiritual rabbits were walking everywhere. Obviously, they were all attracted by the sound of the guqin. Whoosh! Suddenly, at this time, not far from him, the ground bulged, and then a head stretched out from the ground. This head was very strange. It was completely wrapped in black fog, and its face could not be seen clearly. As soon as he appeared, he looked at the man in blue in front of him. The plan has failed. Our people have all been killed. Hearing this, the man in blue stopped. Suddenly, the sound of the guqin also gradually stopped. When the sound of the guqin stopped, the cranes and spiritual rabbits around all ran away. When the black-robed man appeared before, they were not afraid. But now that the sound of the guqin disappeared, these little spiritual beasts all left around. Only the trees were shaking the young man in blue and this mysterious head. Chapter 2664. I've already heard about it. The entire Eastern Wasteland, and even the true spirit world, is abuzz. But I'm curious. We've been planning for so long, and we've mobilized so much power to get such a good opportunity. Logically speaking, Leif Daudenier should have died without a doubt. But why is he still alive? The blue-robed man's voice was cold and emotionless. His robes were adorned with 108 stars that flickered in and out of existence. We've been very successful, and Leif Daudenier has been seriously injured. He should have been killed soon. But then a brat jumped out and completely disrupted our plans. Brat? What brat? The blue-robed man frowned. He had found the crux of the problem. Lin Xian, the master of Immortal Palace. He was the one who brought a few experts from Immortal Palace to save Leif Daudenier, ultimately causing our plan to fail. Lin Xian, the master of Immortal Palace? It was actually him. The blue-robed man's eyes flashed coldly. How could he have appeared at a time like this? I don't know, but the plan we've been working on for so many years was ruined by him. The black head radiated a shocking killing intent, Could it be that Leif Daudenier was destined to die? The blue-robed man stood up, clasped his hands behind his back, and looked up at the sky. Yang Qi sighed. After this, it would be very difficult to kill Leif Daudenier again. But if Leif Daudenier was allowed to grow, it would be a very troublesome problem. What should we do? Should we give up? The blackhead asked. The blue-robed man shook his head. Give up? How could that be? Leif Daudenier might be powerful, but it'll take him a long time to truly grow. He might be heavily protected, but if we can't do it in the dark, we can do it in the open. Let all the young geniuses of the world challenge him. I refuse to believe that he'll win every battle. It seems you've got a plan. The blackhead nodded. But what about that Lin Xian brat? This time, he ruined our plan. Should we send someone to deal with him? No need. It's not convenient for us to show our faces. Find someone to contact the infernal realm and have them attack. Let's not make any moves for now. I'll make some arrangements. Wait for my news. All right, I'll contact the infernal realm and have them attack that brat. The blackhead drilled into the ground and disappeared. The crack in the ground healed once again. The blue-clothed man's eyes flickered. His eyes were like the incomparably deep, starry sky. Lin Xian, let's see what qualifications you have to mess up my plan. Lin Xian had no idea that he was being targeted by the same mysterious organization that had killed Leif Daudenier. He was currently discussing with Wu Hua. When Wu Hua found out the purpose of Lin Xian's visit, he was extremely surprised. Soon, he found the abbot of Lanrua Temple and quickly explained the situation. Lanrua Temple also treated them with great respect. In the end, both sides also formed an alliance. Brother Lin didn't want to stay here any longer. Seeing that Lin Xian was in a hurry to leave, Wu Hua urged him to stay. Lin Xian shook his head. This matter is urgent. We should make preparations and then join forces to hold a meeting to announce the news of the dragon nest to the world. Don't worry, Lanrua Temple will definitely do our best in this matter. Both sides waved goodbye. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon soared into the sky. The two of them left Lanrua Temple and prepared to return to the reclining Buddha Ridge to meditate for a while. Then they would open the door and return to the Immortal Palace. This time, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon Spirit's meditation went smoothly. About a month later, on this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He had made some progress in his meditation. He felt that his understanding of martial arts had deepened. Not only that his mastery of various divine abilities was more proficient than before. On the side, the Crimson Dragon also had some gains. However, at this moment, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's eyelids suddenly twitched. Then the void split open, and two shadows quickly attacked. Whoosh, 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 dang, an earth-shattering sound was heard. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were forced back. They knocked over two mountains and fell into endless ruins. Damn it, who dares to attack Ben Huang? A dragon's roar rang out as countless rocks were blasted away. The dark red dragon flew out, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. On the other side, Lin Xian also smashed all the rocks with a punch and walked out. Golden runes appeared in his eyes and swept in all directions. Who was it? Was it Yuan Kuan, who brought the people from White Horse Temple? If they didn't know what was good for them, he didn't mind sending them on their way. Lin Xian was stunned. No, it wasn't a monk. It wasn't the people from White Horse Temple. It should be a group of assassins. Because he realized that these people were hiding in the void and constantly changing their positions. If he didn't have the heavenly secret divine eyes, he wouldn't have noticed them. What a terrifying assassination technique. The two blurry figures in front of him were also surprised. They didn't die, and they weren't injured. The two of them were too shocked, because the attack just now was a sure-kill attack. They could even kill a late-stage 8-star powerhouse with one strike. However, the two of them were only sent flying and knocked over two mountains. They were not injured. Could it be that the other party was wearing some kind of treasure armor? Damn it. It was the two of you who ambushed Ben Huang? The Crimson Dragon stared at the two shadow-like assassins. He waved his dragon claws and covered the front. With a bang, the void shattered, but the two figures calmly dodged. Their speed was very fast, so fast that it was hard to believe. They actually dodged. Damn it, I'll burn you to death. The Crimson Dragon opened its mouth and spewed out dragon flames that completely enveloped the void. Now, it was no longer a problem that could be solved by speed. However, the two ghostly figures disappeared into the void with a swoosh. Concealment technique. The Crimson Dragon was shocked. If they weren't from the Goof family, then they were assassins. And they weren't ordinary assassins. Kid, we've been targeted. Can you tell which organization the assassins are from? Lin Xian's eyes lit up as he looked in all directions. I can't tell, but judging from the other party's speed and this kind of assassination technique, I guess it should be the people from the three major assassin divine dynasties. The three major assassin divine dynasties? Lin Xian's expression was solemn. He had fought with the assassins from the three major assassin divine dynasties before. At that time, he did feel a strong sense of danger. He didn't expect that after so many years, the other party would make a move again. However, he knew that the other party wouldn't take the initiative to attack. Someone must have spent a lot of money to assassinate him. That was why the assassins took action. But who was it who wanted to assassinate him? He didn't know because there were too many people who wanted to kill him. The Yin-Yang sect, the Five Elements Palace, the Tai Dynasty, and the War Tribe were all possible. Since he couldn't think of anyone, he could only capture two and search their souls. Whoosh. Thinking of this, the void on Lin Xian's left shattered again. A black long sword pierced over. There were no signs before, and it was very fast. In an instant, Lin Xian's body was pierced. Chapter 2665. Puff. The long sword pierced through. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked, but soon he breathed a sigh of relief, because there was no blood spilled. Not good. The shadow assassin was also stunned. Then he withdrew his long sword and quickly retreated. He knew that what he stabbed was not the other party's real body, but an afterimage. It was just that the afterimage was so fast that even he did not recognize it. Whoosh. The afterimage disappeared, and Lin Xian's real body appeared in the same place as if he had never left. This scene made the shadow assassin extremely shocked. The other party's speed was just too fast. Did he want to leave? Lin Xian stretched out a big hand and grabbed in front of him. The terrifying palm carried endless light, shattering the void. The terrifying power was like an ocean, shrouding the shadow assassin. Get out of here! The shadow assassin roared, and his long sword turned into lightning, slashing at Lin Xian's palm. Every sword cut through the void and could injure a peerless almighty. However, such a terrifying sword light clashed with the shining palm, splashing countless sparks, but it could not hurt the palm. Damn it, how was this possible? The shadow assassin was shocked, and the assassins hiding in the dark also exclaimed, "Not good. Body training technique." This kid had an extremely powerful body training technique. His physique was very strong. Everyone had to be careful when they assassinated. These people quickly transmitted their voices, and the others looked even more dignified. The eyes of these assassins bloomed with a biting cold light, trying to find Lin Xian's weakness. Lin Xian's big hand shook, and his palm seemed to turn into a thunderhammer. With a boom, it directly smashed the long sword in half. Whoosh! In the next moment, the thunderhammer palm turned into the azure dragon palm, enveloping the shadow assassin. "Damn it, get out of here!" The assassin roared, and an endless murderous aura rushed out of his body, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. However, He could not do anything to this palm. Lin Xian looked down and asked coldly, "Speak. Who sent you to kill me? Don't even think about it. We won't sell out the buyer's information." The shadow assassin roared. In the next moment, the endless killing intent on his body turned into a black sea. A ferocious ghost face rushed out from his body. His palm shot towards Lin Xian. Not only was this ghost face's murderous aura extremely heavy, it also carried an incomparably gloomy and cold aura, as if it had rushed out from hell. The infernal realm was the infernal realm of assassins. Seeing this scene, the Crimson Dragon screamed, because this aura was too obvious. Lin Xian's eyes also flashed with a fierce light. Hell's dynasty of assassins? If you don't want to talk, I'll search your soul myself. 2 rays of piercingly cold sword chi shot out from his eyes, directly destroying the ghost face. At the same time, a golden rune flashed and forcibly extracted his soul. That assassin from hell screamed miserably. It was clear that the collision of souls had caused him too much damage. However, it didn't take long for his head to explode and his soul to shatter into pieces. The yin-yang qi under Lin Xian's feet spun, bringing him back quickly. His 9 yang divine body blocked all the energy impact. However, his expression was somewhat ugly, because as soon as he collected the soul, an extremely terrifying seal in the assassin's mind exploded. Obviously, this was set up in advance by the Hell's dynasty of assassins. Their purpose was to prevent others from searching their souls. These assassins had extremely powerful seals in their bodies. Once they were in danger of death, they would explode with a loud bang. They wouldn't leave any clues for others to follow. The Crimson Dragon said from the side, "Damn it, how could they be so cautious?" Lin Xian's expression was gloomy. It couldn't be helped. The 3 great assassin dynasties had been passed down since ancient times and had been passed down for so long. They must have endless secrets. They would not allow such secrets to be leaked. Not even a trace of it was allowed. Is that so? If that's the case, then there's nothing to worry about. I can only kill all of these assassins. Lin Xian's body shone brightly, and a murderous aura erupted from his eyes. Since the other party had come to kill him, he would not show any mercy. "Get out here, all of you!" His cold shout shook the 9 heavens. However, the Hell's assassins were very experienced, and their emotions would not be affected by personal feelings. Although their companions were killed, they did not act rashly. They were still lurking in the void, waiting to find the driver. As expected of the people of the ancient dynasty of assassins, they were indeed terrifying. "You don't want to come out, right? Do you think I can't find you if you don't come out?" A golden vortex appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. He suddenly turned around and threw a punch behind him. Boom! A terrifying power accompanied the punch and directly blasted the void behind him. The 2 Hell's assassins were forced out. The 2 men's expressions changed. Damn it! How did he find out? Impossible! He must be dreaming. The 2 of them attacked decisively. Black sword chi fell from the sky and slashed toward Lin Xian. The terrifying murderous aura made even peerless almighties tremble. Obviously, these assassins were very terrifying. Lin Xian also used all his strength to face the attack. He used the heavenly fighting divine fist and the 9 yang divine body. Boom! The sword chi that filled the sky was constantly shattered. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. However, at this moment, 4 more shadow assassins appeared from behind and directly attacked his back. For a moment, Lin Xian was attacked from the front and back. It had to be said that the timing of these 4 people was too exquisite. Just as Lin Xian punched out, the 4 of them took action. This was the time when warriors were the most relaxed. Their alive slain technique was indeed incomparably terrifying. "Kid, be careful." The Crimson Dragon let out a long roar and was about to attack. However, he was also surrounded by 4 assassins from hell, firmly surrounding him. Get lost! With the 4 assassins fighting, Lin Xian's side was in great danger. Just a mere assassin, you want to kill me? Lin Xian shouted coldly as the dragon sword domain surged out. Behind him, it turned into a huge sword and slashed out. With a clang, the 4 assassins were sent flying. The 2 assassins in front were also sent flying by a punch. The 6 top assassins spat out large mouthfuls of blood, their faces filled with shock. Damn it, he's too strong. The other party was too strong. In an instant, he had injured 6 top assassins. This made them feel incredulous. One had to know that they had already estimated the other party's strength and ranked him as a top existence among the Holy Sons. Moreover, as a precaution, they had sent out a large number of top assassins this time. Killing any peerless almighties was not a problem. They were even confident that they could kill an invincible king, because other than these assassins, there were even more terrifying existences. Lin Xian stood in the air, looking disdainfully in all directions. Just 6 assassins, and you dare to kill me? You really don't know life from death. Today, all of you will die. Chapter 2666. His eyes shone with a cold light. However, at this moment, a cold and merciless power came from the sky. A large black palm descended from the sky. It completely enveloped Lin Xian. At the same time, countless black gas appeared around him, forming hell and sealing off Lin Xian's escape route. In the sky, on the ground, in all directions, there were terrifying attacks. Lin Xian was completely sealed. Not good. Seeing this scene, the Crimson Dragon's expression changed because he felt that this power was too terrifying. Damn it, this assassin's power is too terrifying. He did not expect that the assassins from hell would send out such a powerful existence. This energy was too terrifying. The entire world was trembling rapidly. Even a peerless almighty would not be able to escape death. Only an invincible king would be able to escape such an attack. Therefore, when they saw this scene, the 6 assassins from hell sneered. What a reckless brat. You dare to go against the infernal realm? Now you can die obediently. He would definitely die if the elders made a move. Get lost! Lin Xian roared angrily. He used the 9-yang divine constitution to the limit. Dazzling light bloomed, making him look like a god of war. He held the ancient dragon abyss sword with both hands and slashed down. Endless lightning surged, and a terrifying chaotic aura filled the air. The terrifying power of the 5 forms swept across the sky. He used the 3 heaven-grade sword techniques to the extreme. At this moment, the sky and earth were destroyed. Boom, boom. A loud dragon's roar rang out as the surrounding infernal realm was sliced into pieces by him. The giant palm in the sky was also pierced by the 2 dragon-shaped sword chi. However, this palm strike was truly too terrifying. Even though it was pierced, it still fell and crashed into Lin Xian like an ancient demonic mountain. This brat is not simple. He can actually destroy such a terrifying hell and penetrate our elder's palm of light. His strength was simply too terrifying. Yes, it's probably not inferior to the Eastern Wilderness sacred body. The assassins from hell discussed in low voices. Some assassins sneered. So what? No matter how powerful he is, he can't escape death in the end. There are more than 10 million prodigies in hell. Yes, that's right. Once you're dead, you're nothing. No matter how talented you are, you will only become a corpse in the end. The men sneered. Boom, boom. An earth-shattering sound rang out as the light in front of him exploded. Lin Xian's body flew backwards like a meteor as he crashed into a dozen mountains. Phew, in the sky, a black-robed old man walked out. His aura was powerful. Seeing this, the Crimson Dragon was shocked. An invincible king. It turned out to be an invincible king-level assassin. It was too terrifying. Such an assassin could kill other invincible kings. Furthermore, the alive, slain method of these people was very terrifying. In a head-on confrontation, that kid was probably in danger. However, the Crimson Dragon knew that Lin Xian might be injured, but it was impossible for him to be killed. Boom. Sure enough, in the next moment, the ground split open and Lin Xian rose into the air. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were sharp. There were traces of blood on his body. That palm strike had indeed injured him. Not only did he have external injuries, but he also had internal injuries. However, the longevity art quickly circulated and repaired him. The nine-yang divine body released billions of rays of light. Lin Xian's eyes were like lightning as he stared at the black-robed old man in the distance. An invincible king-level assassin? You guys really think highly of me. He didn't expect that the Hell Assassins would have such a lineup to kill him. A saint-level genius. They actually sent an invincible king-level assassin. Who was it that wanted him to die so badly? What? He's fine. That's impossible. The Hell Assassins were all stunned as they looked at this scene in disbelief. The other party had received a palm strike from their invincible elder. How could he still be alive? One had to know that the gap between an invincible king and a peerless almighty was huge. With a palm strike, a peerless almighty had no chance of survival. However, the other party was only injured and didn't die. This was beyond their expectations. The invincible assassin was also stunned. What was going on? Was it the Taoist robe on his body? He looked at the flaming Taoist robe and shook his head. No, it wasn't a Taoist robe. A Taoist robe couldn't block my palm. Could it be that this kid had a special body tempering technique? But so what? The gap between the two sides was too big. He didn't believe that the other party could escape from his hands. In the next moment, the invincible king-level assassin sneered. Kid, you've exceeded my expectations. To think that he was able to survive my attack. However, that was all. Everything was over. This time, there was absolutely no chance of survival. As he said that, he raised his palm again. The spirit energy within a radius of tens of thousands of miles gathered towards his palm. An incomparably dark palm with a biting, cold, murderous aura pushed out horizontally. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly and used the chaotic yin-yang steps to dodge, quickly. The void around him was completely shattered, and the mountains below collapsed. It was a scene of apocalypse. Of all the places, only the giant Buddha was intact. Lin Xian dodged the palm and was sent flying by the palm wind. Countless sword chi rushed out of his body and destroyed the force. He only stopped after flying for 2,000 to 3,000 miles. He didn't die again. The people of Assassin Divine Dynasty were stunned, and the invincible king-level assassin's face darkened. Previously, he was extremely confident and didn't put the other party in his eyes, threatening to kill the other party with one palm. But now, after 2 palms, the other party was still alive. This was a slap to his face. Let's see how long you can hide. The invincible king-level assassin attacked crazily, and one terrifying palm after another flew towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian used the chaotic yin-yang steps and turned into a yin-yang light, shuttling between the countless palm shadows. After more than 10 palms, Lin Xian was still alive, and the invincible king-level assassin's face was completely pale. Damn kid, you've completely angered me. With a wave of his palm, a pitch-black hell domain flew out and enveloped the surroundings. At the same time, he pulled out a killing sword, and the murderous aura on his body suddenly erupted. It seemed that he was really determined to kill. Lin Xian looked at the other party and sneered. Old thing, do you think you can kill me? Kid, don't be so eloquent. Today, you will definitely die. You won't be able to escape from my palm. The invincible king-level assassin snorted coldly, and the other king-level assassin sneered. Idiot kid! How dare you be arrogant in front of our elder? You really don't know what's good for you. That's right. Our elder has assassinated several invincible king-level assassins. Do you really think you can survive this? Do you really know the power of an invincible king-level assassin? These people sneered and looked at Lin Xian as if they were looking at an idiot. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Is that so? In my opinion, you're the ignorant ones. As he said that, Lin Xian waved his hand. Xiao Wu, come out. Chapter 2667. Whoosh. Beside Lin Xian, a woman in a black dress and a black veil walked out. The power of an invincible king erupted from her body. What? An invincible king? This guy also has an invincible king by his side. This scene caused the Hell Assassins to exclaim. The invincible assassin's expression also became ugly. Damn it, he was too careless. His opponent actually had an invincible king. No wonder he was so arrogant. However, he soon sneered. Kid, do you think you're safe with an invincible king? You have to know that many invincible kings have died in my hands. Today, I'll let you know that there's a difference between invincible kings. I'll let you see the ultimate killing move of my assassin dynasty. Is that so? Let's see if you can succeed, or if I'll kill your disciples first. With that, Lin Xian's figure flashed and rushed out like a god of war. How dare you? Seeing the other party rushing towards the other assassins, the invincible king's expression changed. He swung his long sword, wanting to kill Lin Xian. However, Xiao Wu also made a move. Her jade-white palm was like the hand of a god, blocking the terrifying sword light. Your opponent is me. Xiao Wu's voice was cold. Damn it, get out of here. The two unrivaled kings fought together. Seeing this scene, the dark red divine dragon also laughed, not knowing the difference between life and death. Now, it's time to harvest. He didn't hold back anymore, and several heaven-grade artifacts were thrown out by him, sweeping across the area. As for Lin Xian, he charged towards the 6 assassins from hell, courting death. Seeing the other party rushing towards them, the 6 hell assassins roared angrily. The other party wanted to kill all 6 of them by himself? This was too much. Damn, Dan, go to hell. The 6 of them roared. They were all top assassins, and killing a peerless almighty was not a problem. Therefore, at this moment, the 6 of them attacked, and it was really terrifying. Terrifying killing intent swept through the world. It flooded towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian roared angrily and took a step forward, exuding a supreme aura. He swung his fists, opened the big box, and pressed forward with indomitable will. This was the essence of the heaven-battling divine fist. Boom, boom. The battle between Lin Xian and the 6 top assassins was extremely terrifying. The 6 top assassins were extremely shocked. The other party had single-handedly resisted the 6 of them. Moreover, this was only the other party's fist. His opponent's sword chi was even more terrifying. One of them was directly split into 2. This assassin had fled thousands of miles away and reformed his body 10,000 miles away. His face was filled with terror. The other assassins also sucked in a cold breath. Too frightening. Too frightening. Could it be that he was the second Saily being? How could his physique be so strong? The killing techniques that they were so proud of were actually unable to pose any threat to the other party's physique. This was too shocking for them. Kill with a furious roar, Lin Xian charged over again. His voice was like a thunderstorm, carrying with it an invincible conviction. This scene caused the expressions of the assassins from hell to change. Not good. His aura is too strong. If this continues, we will definitely die. We have to disrupt his invincible confidence. These assassins quickly retreated and dodged, preparing to look for an opportunity. In the distance, the invincible assassin, who was fighting with Xiao Wu, was also shocked by the confidence that the other party displayed. That aura of indomitable will surprised even him. This young man was simply too terrifying. The Killer King's clone. He formed a hand seal with his palm, and a shadow rushed out of his body and quickly charged out. Die, brat. This shadow was very fast. In an instant, it arrived near Lin Xian. The black dagger in its hand was constantly waving. This was a clone of the other party, and it also had the power of an invincible king. At this moment, coupled with that terrifying killing technique, it was truly terrifying. Buzz, Lin Xian directly pulled out the dragon-shaped sword and slashed out. It was as if 10,000 dragons had attacked, directly splitting the clone in half. What? This scene caused everyone to tremble in shock. The 6 top-notch assassins were completely dumbfounded. Even the invincible assassin's eyelids were twitching wildly. One of his clones was killed in an instant, just like that. Impossible. How could the other party be so strong? Could it be that the other party had not used all of his strength before? Thinking of this, the invincible assassin's body turned cold. He roared angrily, "Retreat! Hurry up and retreat! This mission is cancelled." Hearing this, the top assassins retreated crazily. "You still want to leave?" The Crimson Dragon's body grew larger, becoming tens of thousands of feet long, directly enveloping 4 top assassins. The other 6 top assassins fled crazily. "Stay for me." Lin Xian waved the dragon's slaying sword domain, and thousands of sword chi descended, enveloping the 6 top assassins. The 6 assassins also activated their own domains to resist. Boom, boom. Earth-shattering sounds could be heard. In the dragon sword domain, countless dragon-shaped sword chi flew out, firmly restraining the domains of the 6 top assassins. There were even 2 of the domains that were directly pierced through. This sword chi was too terrifying. It was indomitable and could destroy the world. It was even more terrifying than the War God Fist technique. It made the 6 top assassins tremble. In the end, there was no suspense. The 6 top assassins were all killed. They were split in half, and even their souls were split open by the sword. Because Lin Xian couldn't detect the souls of these people, he didn't hold back at all. Damn it. The invincible assassin roared. The 4 to 10 top assassins he brought were all killed. This made his heart bleed. "Kid, just you wait. Hell will not spare you." At this point, his figure flickered and he turned around to leave. Humph! Xiao Wu snorted coldly. She wouldn't let him leave. In the next moment, she waved her hand, and a black whip lashed out. The black whip was covered with scales. It was very strange. In an instant, it wrapped around the invincible assassin. Pung! Pung! Ah! A miserable sound rang out. The scales on the whip all pierced into the assassin's body. Immediately, blood spurted out and dyed the void red. "Damn it, I'll fight it out for you." An ancient figure rushed out from his body, and a terrifying aura burst out. However, this ancient figure had just rushed out 1/5 of the way when a black shadow flew out from the black whip in Xiao Wu's hand. It covered the sky and earth, and with a pair of black wings, it directly swallowed this invincible assassin. His bones shattered, and blood splattered everywhere. A moment later, this invincible assassin was killed. How terrifying! Lin Xian was shocked. This was the first time he saw Xiao Wu attack. He didn't expect the other party to be so powerful. It seemed that a mortal palace had given him a very powerful invincible king. After killing this invincible king assassin, Xiao Wu withdrew the black whip and disappeared into the void. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he swept his gaze across the bodies of these assassins. In the next moment, he summoned all 6 of their storage rings. But soon he frowned. Chapter 2668. The items in these 6 people's storage rings weren't rich, and there wasn't even any record of hell. There were only some pills, a few weapons, and armor. Other than that, there was nothing else. They were really cautious. There wasn't a single cultivation technique book or any related records. There were only things related to battle. Who was it that hired these assassins from hell? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Could it be that monk from before? The Crimson Dragon frowned. Previously, they had chased away a genius from White Horse Temple. Perhaps it was him. Who did it? Lin Xian shook his head. No, it wasn't him. This was the Western Desert. If he wanted to make a move, he could have directly found the experts from White Horse Temple. Why would he invite the assassins from hell? I think it's inconvenient for those people to take the initiative to attack. Thinking of this, he sucked in a breath of cold air. The 1-pound Crimson Dragon's expression also changed. Why do I feel like it's a bit like the mysterious organization of the Sand Leaf Martial Arts? Kid, you'd better be careful. And let's return to the Immortal Palace and work together to prepare to open the nest of 10,000 dragons. They used a large number of natural treasures to open a door and teleport across continents. Boom, boom. In the sky, mysterious runes flickered, and Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon disappeared. In the endless mountain range, on a grassland, a blue-clothed man looked at the flickering array with a gloomy expression. They had failed. An invincible king had led 10 top-notch assassins to assassinate a holy sun, yet they had failed. Could the Tao protector beside this kid be an invincible king? Interesting. It seemed that this guy wasn't much weaker than Yi Wu Dao. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite. Speaking of this, a cold smile appeared on his face. Obviously, he had a follow-up plan waiting for Lin Xian, Yi Wu Dao, and the other peerless geniuses. On the other side, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon returned to the Immortal Palace. They immediately gathered the chief enforcer, Xing Tian, and the others to discuss. Then they contacted the Yi family, Gu family, Jade Lake, Purple Cloud, Grand Xia Dynasty, and Lanrua Temple. The 7 Peak family's sacred lands and emperors joined hands and sent a message to the true spirit world. The location of the nest of 10,000 dragons had been found. When this news came out, the world was in an uproar. At first, they were still suspicious, because this information was first released by Immortal Palace. However, the Yi family, Gu family, Jade Lake, Purple Cloud, Grand Xia Dynasty, Lanrua Temple, and other great sects all spoke out one after another. The entire true spirit world exploded. All of the holy lands, sects, and clans went crazy. The nest of 10,000 dragons actually appeared. Heavens, does the nest of 10,000 dragons really exist? I always thought that it was just a legend. The elders of the 4 symbols' sacred grounds exclaimed, "The nest of 10,000 dragons must contain an extremely powerful dragon vein. My 9 Li dynasty must obtain it." The elders of the 9 Li dynasty clenched their fists. That was the burial ground of the Dragon Clan. The experts of the Demon King Palace were equally shocked. If they could enter and obtain the great divine ability of the Dragon Clan, or obtain the blood of the Dragon Clan, they would be able to evolve and strengthen themselves. It was even possible for the Demon Clan to regain control of the entire world. Thinking of this, all of the great sects of the Holy Lands, ancient families, and peerless dynasties were stunned. For a moment, they were like the families of the 7 holy lands that made a statement, asking questions one after another. In fact, many people even came to visit. However, the headquarters of Immortal Palace was too mysterious. No one found it for a while. However, the 6 great holy lands and families were surrounded by countless people. The entire world was in an uproar. In every city, on every street, all of the cultivators were talking about this matter. The influence of this matter was even wider than the Yuhua immortal robe. it was even deeper. Just as everyone was excited, Immortal Palace's Lin Xian released another piece of important news. That was in a month's time, a grand event related to the nest of 10,000 dragons would be held in the Eastern Wasteland's Jade Lake. In the news, it was clearly stated that the world's great holy lands, great sects, and top families were invited to come together. When this news came out, the world was in an uproar. Then, they were extremely excited. It seemed that the news of the nest of 10,000 dragons was absolutely true. Moreover, it wouldn't be long before these great sects of the Holy Lands made a move on the nest of 10,000 dragons. Ordinary cultivators were excited and shocked, but the great sects of the Holy Lands were surprised. Why was it Immortal Palace's announcement? Could it be that this news came from Immortal Palace? Thinking of this, they sucked in a breath of cold air. Previously, they originally thought that it was the Yi family who received the news, but now it seemed that it wasn't. It was Immortal Palace. This Immortal Palace was really too mysterious. They could actually obtain news of the nest of 10,000 dragons. Damn it, that kid's luck was too good. The Yin-Yang sect, Tai dynasty, and other great sects of the Holy Lands gritted their teeth. They had a grudge with Lin Xian. However, they couldn't care less. Even if they had a grudge, they still had to go, because the nest of 10,000 dragons was simply too attractive to them. Of course, there were also cultivators who were surprised by why the Immortal Palace would choose the Jade Lake. A powerhouse explained that it seemed that the Jade Lake Grand Meeting was about to arrive. This time, the two sides would probably gather together. What? Jade Lake Grand Meeting. You're saying that we have a chance to eat the Jade Lake's peach? Many people's eyes lit up and they drooled. In addition to being powerful, the Jade Lake had another thing that was very famous, and that was the peach. The Jade Lake's peach of immortality was not ordinary. It was an extremely precious natural treasure. In fact, it was not an exaggeration to call it an immortal peach. There were 3 types of immortality peaches. There were those that bloomed once every 300 years, those that bloomed once every 1,000 years, and those that bloomed once every 3,000 years. Counting the time, the Immortality Peach Grand Meeting was really about to arrive. Moreover, this time, it seemed to be the immortal peach that bloomed once every 3,000 years. Which powerhouses? The older generation and living fossils also came out of seclusion one after another and rushed to the Jade Lake sacred ground. The Jade Lake held the Immortality Peach Grand Meeting, waiting for the powerhouses of the world to gather. Let's get going too. On the other side, after Lin Xian sent out the news, he began to gather his troops and prepare to set off. This time, they only brought some protectors and elders. After all, this time, it was just a discussion, not a real battle. When it was time to take action, they would mobilize a large number of troops. A month's time passed very quickly. On this day, the Jade Lake of the Eastern Wilderness was like an immortal paradise. The misty fog covered tens of thousands of miles, carrying a crystal-clear light. This scene was really something that could only be seen in a dream. At this moment, there were countless powerhouses and geniuses gathered at the Jade Lake. It was really a golden age. The elders and powerhouses of the various sacred grounds had all arrived. The younger generation of saints and geniuses had also gathered. Among them, Yu Wudao had also come, after more than a month of recuperation, and with the help of the Yi family's methods, he had already recovered his strength. Not only that, but this time's pursuit had made his cultivation base even more refined, and his strength had increased again. This was shocking. The potential of a saint body was really terrifying. Chapter 2669. Apart from the saints of the Eastern Wilderness, The geniuses of the central continent, northern plains, southern mountains, and western desert had all arrived. At this moment, they gathered together and discussed with each other. Some talked about martial arts, while others talked about the news of the nest of 10,000 dragons. In short, it was very lively. Immortal Palace had arrived. A voice came from afar. Immediately, the cultivators of the Jade Pool hurriedly went forward to welcome him. Inside, the powerhouses and saints from all over the world also raised their eyes and looked forward when they heard this. Many people's eyes flickered, and some people's eyes were cold. Since Immortal Palace had arrived, that kid should be here too. What they were looking forward to the most was Lin Xian. That was because his reputation had long spread far and wide, and he was ranked as a top saint. Moreover, he was the master of Immortal Palace, and this time the news of the nest of 10,000 dragons was provided by Immortal Palace. It could be said that thousands of gazes were gathered on Lin Xian. At this moment, this young man had become the center of the true spirit world. In front of them, a red-clothed figure floated over, and beside him was a dark red dragon. Next to him was a mighty man. Behind him was a group of elders and powerhouses. The group of people descended from the sky like immortal kings. The red-clothed youth at the front was naturally Lin Xian. He was dressed in a bright red robe, had a handsome face, and his black hair danced wildly. He really had the aura of a ruler. "Brother Xian, you're here?" Murong Qingcheng led a group of elders to welcome him. Not long after, Shi Wang's mother came and invited Lin Xian in. Everyone's eyes widened in shock. They could not believe what they were seeing. They didn't expect Queen Mother of the West to personally welcome him. This kid was really extravagant. That's right. He was actually welcomed by Queen Mother of the West. Damn it, he was only a holy son. How could he be treated like this? Some people gritted their teeth, while others snorted coldly. Don't forget, he was the master of Immortal Palace. Immortal Palace was not inferior to the great sects of the Holy Lands. He naturally received the treatment of a saint. As soon as these words came out, everyone fell silent. Indeed, they couldn't ignore Immortal Palace now. Although the other party was young, his identity was indeed terrifying. On Lin Xian's side, he followed the Queen Mother and the others into the Great Hall. He, the Yi Clan's clan head, the Gu Clan's clan head, the Purple Dawn Holy Land's Holy Lord, the Lanrua Temple's abbot, and the Grand Xia Empire's emperor entered together. After these people from the Immortal Palace, from Immortal Palace, Immortal Palace, Immortal Palace, Immortal Palace, Immortal Palace. Firstly, the event hadn't officially started yet. Secondly, although he had a noble status, he was still a young man. After all, he still liked to hang out with young holy sons. Immortal Palace, Immortal Palace. Lin Xian quickly rushed out of the palace and turned into a stream of light flying outside. Damn. Why did this brat come out again? Immortal Palace, and immortal Palace, immortal people, immortal. Quite a few people smiled and greeted him, including Flowerless and Leaf Dowdenier. Immortal was immortal. Lin Xian greeted them and took out the best spirit wine he had brewed. Everyone gathered in the pavilion. Damn it, they couldn't help but want to fight him when they saw him. The people of Five Elements Palace, Yin Yang Sect, and Tai Dynasty looked gloomy, especially their saints. Their eyes were flickering. Among them, Five Elements Palace, Yin Yang Sect, and Nine Heavens Sacred Ground were newly elected saints. Their original saints had been killed by Lin Xian. Therefore, these people didn't have a good impression of Lin Xian. Tai Dynasty was divided into two factions. The eighth prince, who was the current crown prince, led his people to greet Lin Xian. Their relationship was quite warm. Those who belonged to the Empress faction gritted their teeth and wanted to kill Lin Xian. However, they didn't dare to do so now. If they dared to make a move, they would be killed before they could even leave. Even the chosens and geniuses sitting with Lin Xian weren't people they could afford to offend, let alone those powerhouses. This was because every single one of them was a top-notch saint. New saints like them were no match for them at all. They weren't the only ones. The other saints and saintesses also looked over. That was because Lin Xian's group was too strong. There were monarch races, top-tier sacred grounds, and Zhongzhou dynasty, the Buddhist sacred ground of the Western Desert. It was absolutely shocking. Big Brother Lin Xian. In the distance, a purple figure rushed over, causing everyone to exclaim, "So beautiful! Come here." Lin Xian smiled and waved. It was Saintess Xixia Shunjingqiu. She also came to Lin Xian's side and sat down happily to taste Lin Xian's wine. "Brother Wu Dao, are your injuries okay?" After a few cups of wine, Lin Xian looked at Yi Dao Denier and asked with concern, "I'm fine. I've completely recovered. Moreover, I've profited from a disaster. My cultivation has improved. It's really enviable." Wu Hua, Gu Santong, and the others laughed. The surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air. How could there be such a monstrous existence in the world? He was hunted down and narrowly escaped death. Not only was he fine in the end, but his cultivation had also improved. It had to be said that it was truly shocking. Lin Xian was also extremely surprised. Then he had to congratulate Brother Yi. "Come, cheers. Brother Lin, you're too polite. I should be the one toasting you this time." Yi Dao Denier stood up with a serious face. "If it weren't for you, I'm afraid I wouldn't be standing here. So, with this cup, I would like to thank Brother Lin for saving my life." Everyone was shocked. They only knew that Yi Dao Denier had been hunted down, but they didn't know that it was Lin Xian who had saved him. It was too shocking. Everyone had their own guesses as to what had happened, but Lin Xian and Yi Dao Denier wouldn't say a word. Lin Xian also raised his cup. "How could one cup be enough? Come, let's drink 3 cups." The two of them laughed heartily. There were flowers, wine, and beauties, but the only thing missing was music. "Everyone, would you let me have a drink?" At that moment, a carefree voice rang out from the distance. Many people turned their heads to look at the source of the voice. The young geniuses were also puzzled. Who was this person? Why did he want to join Lin Xian and Yi Dao Denier's group? Did he have the qualifications to do so? It was him, the holy son of the Taishan Holy Land. Someone exclaimed. The newcomer was a handsome young man in a blue robe with mysterious twinkling stars. He carried a guqin on his back, and his black hair fluttered in the wind. He looked very carefree. He looked like an immortal who had descended to the mortal world. His eyes were bright. So it was the holy son of the Taishan Holy Land. I've long heard that Brother Yun's guqin skills were unparalleled, Gu Santong said with a smile. "Oh, is that so? Then I'll have to ask for some advice." 1 Pound Wu Hua was also interested. He was also a guqin expert. Chapter 2670. The saints all moved aside to make room for the Taishan saint. The Taishan saint sat down and drank a few cups. Then his eyes lit up. "Good wine. It is indeed a top-grade wine. It seems that I have come to the right place." As he spoke, he picked up the guqin on his back and began to play. The sound of the guqin was melodious, like the sound of flowing water. Everyone was mesmerized by it. Even Yi Wudao, Wu Hua, Gu Santong, and the others were shocked. Lin Xian was also shocked. He had heard Wu Hua play the guqin before. At that time, he felt that Wu Hua's guqin was very mysterious. It seemed to have Buddhist scriptures, which made people intoxicated. But now, he was even more shocked. when he heard the Taishan saint play the guqin again. Although there wasn't any Buddhist scripture in the sound of the zither, there was another mysterious power. This power was indescribable, mysterious, and mysterious, but it really existed. That was because Lin Xian could sense that Lin Xian's aura was extremely strong. What a magical sound! The Taishan saint was indeed amazing. He was shocked. The top few geniuses in Eastern Wilderness were Yi Wudao, the Alcade saint, and the Gu family's divine body. He was very mysterious, but he rarely came out. No one knew who he was. However, this did not affect the divine body's reputation. Other than that, people like Murong Qingcheng and Shun Jingqiu were also famous. After all, the saintesses were peerless and beautiful. Naturally, they were sought after by countless people. However, although the Taishan saint was also a saint, he was not very outstanding. In fact, he was a very low-key person. Unexpectedly, the Taishan saint was indeed extraordinary. Not to mention his strength, just as Guqin skills alone were enough to make Lin Xian admire him. While Lin Xian was still in shock, a loud voice came from afar. The war tribe had arrived. Hearing this voice, everyone turned their heads to look and began to discuss among themselves. The war tribe had indeed come out. Yes, even the war tribe had come this time. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and gazed into the distance at the flickering, powerful figures. The corners of his mouth curled into a cold smile. The Battle Race's elders were led into the main hall by the Jade Lake's elders to discuss matters. As for the Battle Race's young heavenly geniuses, they descended from the sky. Their bodies flickered with mysterious symbols, and their horns were lofty. Their auras were extremely powerful, and as soon as they descended, they looked down on everyone. "Brother Jean, you're here." Seeing the scene, the Yin-Yang sect, 5 Elements Palace, 9 Heavens Holy Ground, Tai Dynasty, and Tuoba family all reacted. The saints led their men and walked up to the platform. There was nothing they could do about it. They knew that the War Clan and Lin Xian were enemies that would not rest until one of them was dead. If they wanted revenge, perhaps they really did need to rely on the War Clan. Because of this, these people were very respectful and surrounded the geniuses from the War Race. The Battle Race's geniuses all had proud expressions. They raised their chins, looking extremely arrogant. In just a moment, there were quite a few saint children and heavenly geniuses surrounding them. Although it couldn't compare to Lin Xian's and Leaf Dowdenier's squads, it was still terrifying. In just a moment, countless gazes looked in that direction. What the hell? Those who didn't know better would think that the fairy lake was his territory. That's right. What's there to be arrogant about? He's not the master of the sacred ground. Hearing this, a Battle Race's genius turned his head. 2 rays of light shot out from his eyes, like the divine light of the sun. Instantly, the 2 cultivators who had spoken were sent flying, coughing out large mouthfuls of blood. "What are you doing? Do you want to die?" The people from the Illusion Palace stood up and roared. The Illusion Saint's face also darkened. The other party dared to attack the people from the Illusion Palace. How arrogant! On the other side, the people from the Unfettered sect were the same. One of their disciples had been injured just now. The Unfettered Saint also walked over. "What's the meaning of this?" he asked coldly. The Battle Race's genius emitted a violent aura. A blood-red light surrounded him like an ocean, causing the blood in one's body to churn. Bloodline power. This was the Battle Race's bloodline power. Heavens! This person was too terrifying. The surrounding people quickly retreated. The Unfettered Saint and the Illusion Saint also frowned. They had to admit that the other party was a powerful enemy. However, the other party was too arrogant. Did he really think that the 2 sacred grounds were easy to bully? "You're no match for me. Where's that Lin Xian? Tell him to get over here and die." His body emitted a bloodline light. The battle race's genius ignored the unfettered saint and the illusion saint. He placed his hands behind his back and looked up at the sky. He had a cold and arrogant expression. Hearing this, the surrounding people were in an uproar. The yin-yang saint, the five-element saint, the nine-firmament saint, and the others all sneered. That's great. The other party was indeed here for Lin Xian. They could see that the person in front of them was very powerful. His strength was even more terrifying. Thinking about it, they should be able to kill the other party. Even if they couldn't kill the other party, it would be good to severely injure him. After all, the battle race had sent many geniuses this time. If they attacked one by one, they would definitely be able to kill the other party. However, the unfettered saint and the illusion saint were enraged when they heard this. The other party actually dared to look down on them. This was intolerable. They were the saints and the geniuses. They stood at the peak of the younger generation. When had they ever been looked down upon like this? Kill. The unfettered saint roared and attacked first. His speed was very fast. Like a flash of light, he arrived near the battle race's genius in an instant. His powerful aura was like a vast ocean, causing the nearby martial artists to tremble. Retreat. The yin-yang saint, the five-element saint, and the others all led their men and retreated, giving them enough space. The people from the battle race did not move, especially the battle race's genius at the front, who had his hands behind his back, did not move either. He looked at the unfettered saint, his eyes emitting a terrifying light. The corners of his mouth curled up into a disdainful smile. "Do you really think you can fight me?" Zhan Chongfeng sneered. He stretched out a palm and grabbed in front of him. Wherever it passed, divine lightning rumbled and formed a terrifying lightning palm. The void was instantly pierced through. The powerful force caused everyone's expression to change. Even the saints and saintesses looked grave. Humph! The unfettered saint naturally felt a strong sense of threat. He snorted coldly, and endless light surrounded his body. Many feather-like things danced around him. Unfettered, limitless fist. The energy in the unfettered saint's body was also very strong. A terrifying, killing intent circulated around him. He threw out a punch and evolved a supreme secret technique. Boom, boom, boom. The two of them exchanged more than 10 blows. Then the unfettered saint was forced back 7 to 8 steps. Zhan Chongfeng stood where he was, motionless. He looked at the other party and sneered. "Unfettered saint? So what if you dare to be arrogant? Don't blame me for killing you." Chapter 2671. Saying this, a terrifying murderous intent burst out from his body and swept the 9 heavens. Everyone found it difficult to breathe. Heaven is so powerful. He actually defeated the unfettered saint. Yes, from the looks of it, it was just a casual attack. He did not use his full strength at all. Damn it, the unfettered saint was so angry that his face turned green. He stabilized his chi and blood and wanted to attack again. But at this time, the illusion saint made his move. "Brother unfettered, let me do it." In the blink of an eye, he transformed into millions of clones, covering the sky and covering the earth. They were so densely packed that no one could tell which was the real one. Countless clones surrounded Zhan Chongfeng. "Impudent! Lightning god, heavenly palm!" Zhan Chongfeng sneered. Endless lightning filled his body and formed the shadow of a lightning god. He slammed his palm down. This was no ordinary lightning. He had cultivated it with the power of his bloodline. The lightning god heavenly palm and the lightning god heavenly palm were the war tribe's peerless skills. They were extremely violent. As expected, all the clones in the sky were destroyed in an instant. The illusion saint was also forced back. His face was pale, and his eyes shone with a cold light. Zhan Chongfeng snorted. I have said that the two of you are no match for me. Get lost. I won't kill you. Where is that Lin Xian? Tell him to get over here and die." The scene was silent. Everyone was shocked, scared, and horrified. The two saints had been forced back by the other party. This showed that Zhang Chongfeng's strength was absolutely terrifying. He was at least at the level of a top-tier saint. Moreover, the other party had not used his full strength yet. They did not know how powerful he was. At the same time, they were even more shocked that the other party had threatened to kill Lin Xian. If this was in the past, they would have thought that Lin Xian was dead meat. But it was different now. What kind of person was Lin Xian? He had killed many saints and was a top-tier prodigy. Moreover, his status was noble. When he came, the Queen Mother of the West personally welcomed him. It could be said that he was a young prodigy who was the center of attention. Some people even thought that he was not inferior to the Alcade Saint or Yi Wudao. Now, someone had provoked him. This made everyone excited and even expectant. Humph! The people of the war tribe were really despicable. Shen Jingqiu snorted, and her face cold. The other party dared to provoke her brother Lin Xian. Gu Santong, Wu Hua, and the others all frowned. Yi Wudao asked, "Brother Lin, do you need my help? Have you finished him? He is just a clown. Ignore him." Lin Xian shook his head. He had no intention of attacking. "What did you say? Who are you calling a clown? Do you want to die?" When Zhang Chongfeng heard this, he immediately became angry. He turned around and took a step forward. The thunder god projection on his body roared. The rumbling sound of thunder resounded in all directions, scaring the surrounding people so much that their scalps went numb. Many people directly knelt on the ground. Seeing this, Murong Qingqing's face turned cold. However, she didn't stop them. Instead, she waved her hand and opened the array. This array had been set up long ago. They knew that there would be people from the younger generation who would spar and fight with each other. Therefore, they did not stop it when it happened. They just opened the array and watched from the side. Murong Qingqing was not worried about Lin Xian. She trusted Lin Xian. She knew how powerful Lin Xian was. Seeing the array open, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Zhang Chongfeng stared coldly at Lin Xian. "Kid, who are you calling an ant? Why? Don't you have any self-awareness? Of course I am talking about you." Lin Xian sat there and swirled his wine glass. He glanced at Zhang Chongfeng casually. He did not care about Zhang Chongfeng at all. "You are courting death." Zhang Chongfeng was enraged. Previously, he had easily repelled the two holy sons and obtained a suppressive advantage. He had become an unparalleled figure. He was in high spirits and wanted to kill Lin Xian in one fell swoop. But Lin Xian said that he was an ant, not worth mentioning. How could he tolerate this? In the next moment, he pointed at Lin Xian. "Get over here and fight me to the death. You are definitely no match for me. You think too highly of yourself. Fight you to the death. You are not worthy of being my opponent." Lin Xian shook his head and ignored him. Everyone was taken aback by this scene. They did not expect that Lin Xian would not accept the challenge at all. In the distance, the people from the Yin-Yang sect, the Five Elements Palace, and the Nine Firmaments Sacred Land frowned. Among them, the martial artists from the Sacred Lands sneered. "What do you mean by disdain? I think you don't dare to accept the challenge at all." "That's right. Who do you think you are? How dare you compare yourself to a prodigy like Zhang Chongfeng?" These people sneered. They thought that Lin Xian was afraid. As expected, the other martial artists from the Sacred Lands began to talk among themselves. The people from the war tribe were even more proud. "Kid, you don't dare to accept the challenge. Just kneel and kowtow. We can give you a quick death." Zhang Chongfeng also laughed. "So, you're a coward. You don't dare to accept the challenge. I really don't know what despicable means you used to kill the war concubine and the golden lion king. I don't dare to accept the challenge? What a joke. Lin Xian sneered. I killed the 4 war monarchs with my own hands. Do you think I don't dare to accept the challenge? It's just that you are too trash. You are not worthy of my attack. His voice was light as a feather, but in everyone's ears, it was like a sudden clap of thunder, exploding. What? The 4 war monarchs of the war tribe were killed by him? Oh heavens, it can't be. When did this happen? Why don't I know about it? This kid wouldn't be lying, right? Everyone discussed. Indeed, the people from the Yin sect and the 5 Elements Palace sneered. What a joke. Who do you think you are? How dare you kill the 4 war monarchs? However, as soon as they finished speaking, they realized that something was wrong. The people from the war tribe had ugly looks on their faces. Damn it, it's you. You killed our 4 war monarchs. Kid, I don't know how many elders you used and how much of your immortal palace's resources to kill our 4 war monarchs. But in a one-on-one fight, you are not the opponent of the 4 war monarchs. Today, I will take revenge. I will let everyone know that you are just an ant. You dare to offend our war tribe? You are dead for sure. The people from the war tribe roared crazily. Meanwhile, the surrounding people were dumbfounded. What? The 4 war monarchs were really killed? Oh heavens, this is really shocking news. Lin Xian shook his head. Sigh. Why are there so many self-righteous and reckless idiots in this world? Only when you are killed do you realize how pitifully weak you are. Since you want to die, then make your move. I will fulfill your wish. He waved his hand, but he didn't have any intention of getting up. Chapter 2672. Stand up and fight. Zhang Chongfeng's body emitted lightning. Lin Xian laughed. No need. I can still beat you even if I give you a handicap of my legs. You're courting death. I'll grant you your wish. Zhang Chongfeng was really angry. He turned into a bolt of lightning and instantly appeared in front of Lin Xian. Endless lightning wrapped around his palm. Then he grabbed Lin Xian's head with his palm. Kid, I'll make you kneel and wait for your death. Zhang Chongfeng revealed a sinister expression. Yes, that's right. He wanted Lin Xian to kneel in front of him in front of all the elites in the world. He wanted Lin Xian to suffer a crushing defeat. He would lose face. Many people understood Zhang Chongfeng's intention and immediately gasped. How cruel! Not only did he want to kill Lin Xian, but he also wanted to torture him to death. However, whether or not the other party could kill Lin Xian was another matter altogether. Yi Wudao Gu Santong Wu Hua and the others sat there and frowned. Countless runes flashed on their bodies. A king's domain appeared and blocked the terrifying lightning. Lin Xian was the first to bear the brunt of the attack, but he was not afraid. In the next moment, he turned his head and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the lightning palm. Boom, boom, boom. The two collided, and the void was torn apart. A powerful force swept out in all directions. Fortunately, those around Lin Xian were all elite elites. The impact of this energy was not too dangerous for them, so they easily neutralized it. However, the other cultivators were not so lucky. They all activated their defenses and armor to resist with all their might. Just as they retreated to a safe distance, they exclaimed because they saw a figure in front of them being pushed back. Was Lin Xian pushed back? They looked carefully. No, it was not Lin Xian. It was the genius of the battle lord. When they saw that it was the genius of the battle tribe, Zhang Chongfeng, who was pushed back, they exclaimed. The people of the battle tribe screamed. Impossible! The eyelids of the Yin sect, 5 Elements Palace, and 9 Heavens sacred ground twitched. Boom, 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 boom. Zhang Chongfeng took 5 steps back before he stopped. His face was gloomy and his eyes were glowing red. His body was trembling with anger. He was pushed back. He was pushed back in a fight with Lin Xian. How could he endure this? The other party was just sitting there nonchalantly. Yet, he was actually able to knock him back with just a casual strike. This was a slap to his face. The surrounding people swallowed their saliva. Why did this scene seem so familiar? Not long ago, Zhang Chongfeng had defeated the unfettered Saint's son and the illusion Mia Saint's son with such a powerful and condescending attitude. But now, this happened to Zhang Chongfeng. With an even more disdainful attitude, Lin Xian pushed Zhang Chongfeng back with a palm strike. This Lin Xian was too strong. His strength had definitely increased again. Chongfeng, yi, Dao, Dao, and the others. Yi Wudao laughed. It seemed that Brother Lin's strength had improved a lot. Nope. At this level, improvement was very slow. It was just that Lin Xian was trash. Lin Xian shrugged and drank another cup of wine. Puff. Zhang Chongfeng spat out blood. When he heard this, in the distance, the people of the unfettered sect and illusion palace were excited. The unfettered saint snorted. Sure enough, he had to pay for what he did. The illusion saint sneered. Let's see how Zhang Chongfeng will deal with this. The two of them were in a good mood. Previously, they were provoked and humiliated by Lin Xian. This made them go crazy, but they did not expect that in the blink of an eye, Lin Xian would be looked down on by the stronger Lin Xian. This made them feel like they were taking revenge. Zhang Chongfeng's handsome face was distorted. He stared at Lin Xian. Kid, you're courting death. Buzz. The thunder god's shadow roared. His palms turned into 2 thunder hammers and attacked quickly. In an instant, Lin Xian was enveloped. Lin Xian snorted and waved his fists. Thousands of fist shadows appeared in the sky. He used the heaven-battling divine fist, together with the 9-yang divine body. Its power was terrifying. The 2 ultimate skills collided in the sky. Black holes appeared one after another. The crowd was shocked. The faces of the battle master and the others became more and more ugly. Zhang Chongfeng gritted his teeth and roared. Heaven-battling divine fist. Damn it. How can you counter my battle tribe's mystique? He was going crazy. Lin Xian was not only strong, but he also used his battle tribe's ultimate skill. When the others heard this, they were also stunned. What's going on? Could it be that Lin Xian's ultimate skill was the battle tribe's ultimate skill? Isn't this too unbelievable? Humph, such an ultimate skill is a waste in your hands. Of course, I'll take it and use it. Lin Xian snorted. In the next moment, he stood up. A terrifying aura burst out. It was as if a peerless immortal king had awakened. Everyone felt their bodies tighten. They couldn't breathe. In fact, even the Chosens were shocked. You really don't interest me. So now it's over. Lin Xian stretched out a large palm and slammed it forward. Humph! Zhang Chongfeng snorted and activated the thunder god's shadow to resist. At the same time, his main body joined in. 5 thunder clones. In an instant, he used another great mystique. Buzz, buzz, buzz. 5 colored lightning bolts rushed out of his body. Each of them turned into a lightning clone and attacked Lin Xian. This scene was very sudden and very fast. It could be said that it was impossible to guard against. Oh no, that kid is in danger. Seeing this scene, the eyelids of the elites twitched. The saints were even more shocked. With such timing and speed, it would be difficult for Lin Xian to dodge. Boom, boom, boom. Lin Xian didn't dodge. The 5 Thunder God clones all landed on him. Suddenly, an earth-shattering explosion rang out. Lightning filled the sky. The place where he was turned into a sea of lightning. A world-destroying energy roared nonstop. Ha ha! Seeing the scene, The war tribes, martial artists, all laughed. The Yin Yang sect, Five Elements Palace, and Nine Heavens Sacred Ground all laughed. Let's see how this kid dies. The 5 lightning clones contained a terrifying amount of energy. Even the saints and saintesses were frightened. If he was hit directly, he would be severely injured if not killed. As long as Lin Xian was severely injured, the rest would be easy. Zhan Chongfeng would definitely kill Lin Xian. The others were also discussing. Wu Hua, Gu Santong, Yi Wudao, and the others all frowned. Shen Jingqiu and Murong Qingcheng were even more worried. They even wanted to help. However, the Crimson Dragon shook his tail and said, "Don't get too excited. It's just a small attack. It won't hurt this kid." He had always been by Lin Xian's side. Naturally, he knew how terrifying Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body was. When the time came, it would definitely stun the saints. Chapter 2673. Lightning surged on Zhan Wuhan's body, and the shadow of the thunder god circled behind him. He shattered the fist shadows, and then looked at the sea of lightning in front of him with a smug smile. "Reckless brat, do you think that you can contend against me with your strength alone? You're too naive. Today, I'll see how you die." He was very confident in his attack. According to his estimation, the other party would definitely be seriously injured and very likely lose half of his life. Next, he would be able to kill his opponent. "You're very confident in your attack, aren't you? But I'm sorry to disappoint you." A calm voice came from the sea of lightning in front of him. Then, the sea of lightning was torn apart by a ray of sword light. Then, Lin Xian walked out. He was wearing a bright red robe and had a handsome face. He did not seem to be injured at all. As Lin Xian walked out, everyone's hearts raced. When they saw Lin Xian's condition, they went crazy. Heavens! What's going on? He's fine. He's not injured. How is this possible? It can't be an illusion, right? The saints and saintesses were shocked. They used all kinds of secret soul techniques to investigate. However, when they realized that Lin Xian really wasn't injured, the saints and saintesses were dumbfounded. What's going on? They could not understand. Defense, what a strong defense. How can this kid's defense be so strong? Finally, someone screamed. Murong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu breathed a sigh of relief. Wu Hua, Gu Santong, the great Xia prince, and the others were shocked. Yi Wudao's expression was grave. He knew that Lin Xian was not injured. However, he did not expect Lin Xian to block it in such a way. In his opinion, Lin Xian should have used a strong sword qi to break the 5 lightning doppelganger, not a strong defense. The Taishan sage sat there with a smile on his face. However, his eyes were fixed on Lin Xian, like the stars in the sky being extinguished. He wanted to see through him. Impossible! How could you not be injured? Zhan Chongfeng screamed, as if he had seen a ghost. He knew how terrifying the 5 thunder doppelganger was. If it bombarded those saints and saintesses, it could definitely destroy half of their lives. Furthermore, all 5 of his clones had been hit. This was definitely the result of serious injuries. In the worst-case scenario, he might even lose his life. However, not only was the other party not seriously injured, he wasn't injured at all. This made him suspect that his 5 lightning clones did not hit his opponent at all. What 5 lightning doppelganger? It's just 5 water lightning. Do you really think you can hurt me? Lin Xian stopped smiling. I said, it's over now. He took a step forward, and his 9-yang divine body erupted. Mysterious runes appeared on his body one after another, and a terrifying fist blasted out. The heaven-battling divine fist shook the heavens and earth. Lin Xian used one of the ultimate moves of the heaven-battling godly fist. His fist seemed to have turned into an incomparable sun that soared into the sky. Damn it, block for me. Zhan Chongfeng used the Thunder God's shadow to fight back. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out, and the heavens fell, and the earth cracked. The Thunder God's shadow was penetrated, and a terrifying crack appeared. With a boom, the mysterious Thunder God's shadow exploded, turning into a sky full of lightning that pierced through the void. Zhan Chongfeng spat out mouthfuls of blood and kept retreating. His blood pierced through the ground and dyed the void red. The battle robe on his body was bright red, and it emitted a monstrous bloody smell. So powerful! What a violent fist! How could this kid have such a powerful fist technique? Wasn't he a swordsman? At this moment, the holy sons and holy daughters were all shocked. The powerful cultivators and the older generation figures were also shocked. Bu Hua, Gu Santong, the great Xia prince, and the others also stood up, looking at the scene in disbelief. Yi Wudao's expression was even more serious. He stared at Lin Xian's body. What a strong physique! What he cared about was not Lin Xian's combat strength, but the flashing runes on Lin Xian's body. It was obvious that this was a very powerful body-refining technique. He felt that his saint body was reacting to it. Even the blood in his body was tumbling. This made him extremely shocked. One had to know that what could stimulate his saint body's reaction was definitely an unparalleled physique. He didn't have it before, but he didn't expect that in just a few years the other party would have such a physique. So strong, what kind of body-refining technique was this? Was it the Immortal Palace's supreme ability? Yi Wudao was surprised. He knew that Lin Xian didn't have such a powerful bloodline. It must be an unparalleled body-refining technique that could cause such a scene. Brother Lin was really too shocking. Wu Hua and Gu Santong also smiled bitterly. What a strong physique! The great Xia! Prince exclaimed. The great mystery saint's eyes shone with a shocking light. Obviously, this scene was also beyond his expectations. At this moment, his heart was in great turmoil. As expected of the Immortal Palace's master, a peerless genius. Looks like I have to reevaluate him. The great mystery prince was shocked. Shen Jingqiu clapped her hands happily. Wow, so Brother Lin Xian is so powerful. He's much more powerful than before. Not only her, but Murong Qingchen, who was standing to the side, also revealed a smile. Among them, the Crimson Dragon was the calmest. This was because he already knew that this would be the result. At this moment, he smiled like an old monster. Ha ha, shock, tremble. I'll let you know how powerful the Nine-Yang Divine Body is. On the other side, the Yin-Yang sect, Five Elements Palace, Nine Heavens Sacred Ground, and Tai Dynasty all had pale faces. This scene also shocked them. They didn't even dare to mock Lin Xian anymore. All of them were stunned. Their bodies were trembling. The people of the war tribe were screaming crazily. Damn it, how could this be? How could this kid be so strong? Zhan Chongfeng roared into the sky. His body was covered in blood, and his black hair was dyed red, dancing in the wind. The aura on his body suddenly exploded, and he used his bloodline power to the extreme. A terrifying aura spread out, and the Thunder God's shadow behind him quickly condensed again. But this time, it was different. A blood-red armor appeared on his body, and he was holding a blood-red saber. Obviously, this was the result of his bloodline power. The Thunder God's shadow wasn't just his attack, it was also his king's domain. Now that it was fully unleashed, its power was much stronger than before. Kid, I didn't want to reveal my trump card before. But now, you can die peacefully. He was furious. He wanted to kill Lin Xian at all costs. How terrifying. Zhan Chongfeng didn't use his full strength before. This was the power of his bloodline power. The bloodline of the war tribe was extremely terrifying, and it was rumored that the more he fought, the stronger he became. Zhan Chongfeng was definitely terrifying. That's right, the war race was too strong. However, that Lin Xian was even more terrifying. I wonder if Zhang Changfeng could defeat Lin Xian. I don't think so, but that might not be the case. Everyone was discussing. At this moment, they didn't think highly of Zhang Changfeng. This made Zhang Changfeng so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He screamed and charged over, as if he had gone mad. Chapter 2674. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Do you think that you can be arrogant in front of me just because you have the power of bloodline? He pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword and unlocked the 6 seals on it. That's not how you should use lightning. Let me show you what real lightning is. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. Suddenly, sparks of lightning appeared on the ancient dragon source sword. In the next moment, he used the 9-fold thunder sword. Roar with a slash, 3 lightning dragons rushed out from the sword wind, bearing their fangs and claws. Each of them was extremely terrifying. As if they were real, they charged forward, carrying astonishing lightning with them. The terrifying lightning dragons carried the power of lightning, and their explosion was earth-shattering. The god of lightning's shadow was wearing a blood-red armor and holding a blood-red saber. It swept through everything, but the 3 lightning dragons were too terrifying. In the end, they tore the god of lightning's shadow apart. Everyone was astonished by what they saw. Heavens, this kid's lightning sword technique is so terrifying. He's crazy. He's not human. The war tribe actually lost. I already said that this kid is a peerless swordsman. How can he not use his sword technique? His sword technique is even more terrifying than before. They already knew that Lin Xian was a peerless swordsman, and they were looking forward to seeing Lin Xian use his sword. Sure enough, with a slash, Zhang Changfeng's trump card was instantly broken. Many elites screamed in excitement. They had nothing to do with either side, and they just wanted to watch an exciting battle. Now Lin Xian's sword technique had completely stunned them. Puff, Zhang Changfeng vomited blood and flew out. His robe was torn, and there was a terrifying sword wound. His body was almost split in half. Blood spurted out, dyeing the sky red. Changfeng, when the elites of the war tribe saw this, they could no longer hold it in. They hurried forward and brought Zhang Changfeng back. Then they treated his injuries. Many elites of the war tribe stared at Lin Xian with bloodshot eyes. Ah, damned kid, you're courting death. I'm going to kill you. Humph, I'm afraid you don't have that ability. Get out of here. Lin Xian coldly shouted. The 3 thunder dragons roared together in the sky. The terrifying sound waves caused the battle race martial artists to continuously retreat. Their expressions were ugly, and the others were all amazed. He was too strong. Although this Lin Xian was young, he still displayed the demeanor of a generation's overlord. His future achievements would be limitless. Just you wait, don't be arrogant. The number 1 person of our battle clan's younger generation didn't come, but he would be here soon. At that time, he will personally take your life. The war race's martial artists roared madly. The others were shocked, and their eyelids twitched. What? The number 1 person of the war race's younger generation? Wasn't this title a little too terrifying? The war race was born for battle. They were an ancient race that was extremely terrifying. Every one of them was extremely powerful. Previously, there was Zhang, the Golden Lion King, and other prodigies. Now, there was Zhang Changfeng. Although they had lost to Lin Xian, each and every one of them was extremely terrifying. However, they weren't the war race's number 1. Just who was this number 1 person of the war clan? How terrifying was that? In an instant, everyone was looking forward to it. Lin Xian also squinted his eyes. The number one person of the war race's younger generation? The name sounded quite frightening, but he was not afraid. So, what if he was the number one person? The number one person? I'm looking forward to his arrival. Lin Xian's lips curled into a confident smile. Kid, just you wait. You're dead meat. The war race's martial artists left with Zhang Chongfeng after saying those harsh words. The others were discussing. On one hand, they were shocked by Lin Xian's strength, and on the other hand, they were guessing. Who was this number one person of the war race? How strong was he? Brother Lin, be careful. The war race has been passed down since ancient times, and their foundation is terrifying. The number one person of their family's younger generation must be terrifying. Gu Santong reminded. Lin Xian nodded as well. After that, everyone sat there and chatted about martial arts and Tao. During this time, the Taishan sage was playing the zither. However, his gaze was extremely deep, and he even looked at Lin Xian from time to time. No one knew what he was thinking. At this moment, Jade Lake was very lively, but there was still some time before the real opening. During this time, various powerful martial artists would come from time to time. Firstly, they wanted to know about the nest of 10,000 dragons. Secondly, they wanted to participate in the Feast of Peaches. Anyone who came would be given a peach. Of course, ordinary martial artists would be given spiritual peaches. Only the saints and saintesses, as well as the extremely powerful martial artists, would be able to get real peaches. However, even spiritual peaches were far more valuable than those in the outside world. Eating one would allow a martial artist's strength to increase. This was a huge temptation. In the next few days, Lin Xian would spar with Yi Wudao and the others from time to time. He also accompanied Shen Jingqiu and Murong Qingcheng. Of course, he spent more time with Shen Jingqiu because Murong Qingcheng, as the Jade Lake Saintess, had many things to do. She was in charge of receiving most of the young martial artists who came. The Demon King Lightning's people were here. In the distance, a group of powerful figures landed, and it immediately attracted the attention of many people. Countless people gathered in front of them. The people from the Demon King Lightning's palace are here too? Why do I feel like there are many real demons among them? They were extremely shocked. Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu also arrived nearby and raised their heads to look ahead. Lin Xian was also surprised. They saw a few very powerful figures. The demonic qi in their bodies was very terrifying. The one leading the way was still Wu Tiandu. Beside him was Yan Ruyu, who was dressed in snow-white clothes. Come, follow me. Lin Xian saw Yan Ruyu and smiled. He was about to go up. The 1 pound Shen Jingqiu pouted. Lin Xian, do you like that demoness? Why, is my little Qiu jealous? Lin Xian smiled and pinched Shen Jingqiu's nose. Yes, Shen Jingqiu was angry. Lin Xian pinched her little face. Don't worry, Qiu, you will always be the most special in my heart. Really? Shen Jingqiu was happy. Her eyes narrowed into crescents, and she happily followed behind Lin Xian. Lin Xian rose into the air and flew forward. Fairy Yan, we meet again. Lin Gongzi, long time no see. Yan Ryu also smiled. This smile stunned all the surrounding martialists. Hua Tiandu's face was gloomy. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Damn, why is this kid here again? He's really haunting me. The experts from the Demon King Lightning's palace behind him were also gloomy. They all stared at Lin Xian. Despicable human. Don't even think about hitting on Fairy Yan. That's right, hurry up and get lost. Lin Xian, on the other hand, ignored all of these people. His face was as beautiful as jade. Fairy Yan, there will be a tea party later. I invited Yi Wudao and the other young geniuses to discuss martial arts again. Of course, there will also be some top-grade spirit tea. How about it? Are you interested? Chapter 2675. Hearing this, Yenryu was also interested. After all, it was very good to be able to exchange cultivation experiences with these young top geniuses. Naturally, she was interested. She said with a smile. Huatiendu's face darkened. Damn it, she didn't invite him. He looked at the human kid in front of him and wanted to kick him away. All right, then I'll wait for Fairy Yen. Lin Xian smiled and waved his hand, then left the sky with Shin Jingqiu. Damn it, he's too arrogant. I really want to slap him to death. Don't be impulsive, he's not simple. He's killed several bodies, his strength is definitely terrifying. There were also experts who had solemn expressions, thinking that they shouldn't be impulsive. After hearing this, the other's eyelids twitched. Damn it, he's not too arrogant, and he's so strong. But Fairy Yen, are you really going? That little one is obviously interested in you. Yes, he's plotting something against you. Many young geniuses hurriedly tried to persuade her. Yen Ryu was their dream goddess, and they were still fighting among themselves. How could they allow an outsider to fight with them? Yen Ryu smiled. Don't misunderstand. It's just a martial arts tea party. Little Qing, let's go down and take a walk. Speaking of this, Yen Ryu said to the little maid beside her. The little maid nodded and followed behind Yen Ryu. Seeing Yen Ryu fly down with the little maid, the other geniuses sighed. Of course, there were also some experts whose eyes flickered. They came behind Huatiendu and asked, in a deep voice, Saint, what do you plan to do? Actually, in my opinion, you should let the old sacred leader come out and grant a marriage. It's best for you and Yen Ryu to be husband and wife. I think so too, but my grandfather didn't say anything at all. What do you want me to do? Huatiendu's face darkened. At this moment, an old man beside him said, We can't be impulsive in this matter. Her identity is too shocking. If we force it, it might make things worse. Another old man also stood out. To be honest, I don't think it's likely to be a marriage. However, as long as she's on our side, it's already very beneficial to our Demon Lord Palace. Hearing this, Huatiendu was extremely unwilling. Indeed, the other party's identity was frighteningly high. Not to mention him, even his grandfather, the old holy master of the Demon Imperial Palace, did not dare to do anything to him. Therefore, there was no need to think about using force. He could only rely on his own charm to win her over. However, this path was simply too difficult. He had never seen any genius that could catch the eye of the other party. The elders of the Demon Imperial Palace were afraid that Huatiendu would be impulsive, so they hurriedly warned him again. Tiendu, you must not anger Ryu, and you must not even go against her. Whatever decision she makes, it's up to her. You mustn't interfere. Indeed, her awakening was becoming more and more powerful. If she fully awakened, then countless demon kings would kneel at her feet. Some of the ancient great demons had to be used by her. Therefore, he must not provoke her. I know. Huatiendu clenched his teeth, extremely unhappy. At this moment, a middle-aged man on the side said, Holy Son, we don't dare to anger Fairy Yen, but that doesn't mean we can let that brat go. Isn't he discussing martial arts? Let's send a few geniuses over to spar with him. Let them know the power of the Demon Imperial Palace. Yes, it's best if we can teach that brat a lesson. That brat is too powerful. Even I don't have 100% confidence in winning. Huatiendu's expression was grave. Indeed, he had seen the strength of the other party. Moreover, he had heard that 2 days ago, the other party had injured the war race's genius in public. He was extremely domineering. We also heard about the matter. Actually, we don't need to do anything. He's dead for sure. The war race's #1 genius will arrive soon. That brat definitely won't live. I feel that we can join forces with the war race. Although the war race's #1 genius hasn't come yet, the celestial race's little sky king has come. Are you talking about the celestial race's peerless genius, Little Sky King? He actually came too. That's right, he came. Little Sky King has always been arrogant and has a good relationship with the war race. As long as we contact the war race and sow discord, we can definitely make Little Sky King take action. With Little Sky King's strength, it's very easy to defeat that guy. Hearing this, Huitiendu's eyes lit up. All right, let's do that. The other elders of the Demon Imperial Palace did not stop him. After all, they were afraid of Yen Ruyu, not Lin Xian from the Immortal Palace. They felt that it was very necessary to suppress him. Soon, Huitiendu led some of the geniuses to the war race's location for a secret discussion. On the other side, in the Lake Paradise, this was the place that Lin Xian had chosen to hold the martial tea gathering. With Murong Qingcheng there, this place was quickly taken over by them. Not only that, Murong Qingcheng even called some of the Jade Lake's maids over. Soon, all kinds of spirit fruits and spirit tea were placed on the table. In the distance, countless figures also left. There were Yi Wudao, Wu Hua, and the others. There were also some saints. Although Lin Xian did not invite them, they also heard the news and came over. After all, it was a very rare opportunity to have an exchange with top geniuses like Yi Wudao. Lin Xian did not refuse the saints and saintesses who came, because he was confident that he could control the situation. Therefore, even if there were some who had a grudge against him or wanted to cause trouble, Lin Xian did not bother. It did not matter if they had such intentions, but if they dared to cause trouble, he would definitely suppress them. This place was indeed very lively. Two figures floated over from the distance. One of them was dressed in snow-white clothes like a peerless fairy. Behind her was a maid in green clothes. As soon as the two of them appeared, they attracted everyone's attention. So beautiful! It was Yen Ruyu from the Demon Imperial Palace. She actually came down. Exclamations sounded one after another. The saints' eyes flickered with excitement. The saintesses looked as if they were facing a great enemy, because the other party was too beautiful. They felt endless pressure. Lin Gongzi, I'm not too late, right? After Yen Ruyu landed, she looked at Lin Xian. This scene made many saints speechless. Damn, what's wrong with Lin Xian? How can he attract so many peerless beauties? He already had the Jade Lake Saintess and Zixia Saintess by his side. Now, even Yen Ruyu favored him. This made everyone confused. What was going on? It's not too late. It hasn't started yet, Lin Xian said with a smile. At this moment, Murong Qingcheng also stood up. Fairy Yen, please take a seat, Yen Ruyu said with a smile. She had long heard that the Jade Lake Saintess was unparalleled in beauty. Now that she had seen her, she really lived up to her reputation. Fairy Yen is too polite. Fairy Yen is peerless. Her ethereal and elegant temperament is rare in the world. Although the two peerless beauties were praising each other, everyone felt a chill run down their spines. They felt an invisible chill rising from the bottom of their hearts. Chapter 2676. Miss Seductress, you can do it! Shun Jingqiu cheered her on. Yen Ruyu looked over at Shun Jingqiu. She had long heard that Saint Lady Zixia of the Zixia Holy Land was one of the Oriental Pearls. Now that she had seen her, she was indeed more beautiful than the rumors. Was she? No way. Hearing this, Shun Jingqiu blushed and was very happy. Lin Xian looked at this scene, and the corners of his mouth curled up. It seemed that this little girl's combat strength was still a little lacking. All right, everyone sit down. Lin Xian stood up and waved his hand. If the competition continued, who knew what would happen? However, what he was worried about really happened, because Murong Qingcheng did not return to her seat. Instead, she continued. Fairy Yen, why don't we compare notes first? Sure, I also want to experience Jade Lake's unique skills. As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned at first, then there was an uproar. Each of them was extremely excited, as if they had been injected with chicken blood. What's going on? Two peerless beauties are actually going to fight. God, why do I feel that they are fighting for affection? Impossible. That kid definitely does not have such charm. It must be that the battle between these two peerless beauties has nothing to do with that kid. Everyone shouted crazily. However, no matter what, they were able to see the top beauties fight. This was definitely not a wasted trip. In an instant, more and more martial artists appeared around. Fairy Yen, please. Murong Qingqing stretched out her jade-like hand and made a gesture of invitation. Yen Ryu nodded. Her figure flashed, and she came to the center of the field. Lin Xian was stunned. What was going on between the two of them? Why did they want to compare notes after a few words? He sighed helplessly and rubbed his face. The crimson dragon at the side had a smirk on his face. Kid, now you know the consequences of having too many women. Hearing this, Lin Xian was speechless. Shen Jingqiu clenched her fists. Miss Seductress, you can do it. The eyes of the other saints and saintesses were also shining. The martial artists of the Holy Land were even more excited. In the pavilion of the rockery in the distance, the people of the Demon Imperial Palace also looked over. Everyone was discussing Liang Niu. Who was stronger? However, as they discussed, they realized that they really couldn't guess the outcome until they saw it. Little Sister Qingqing, I'm going to make a move now. Yen Ryu twirled her hair and gently blew on it. Suddenly, a green light turned into a mysterious rune in the sky and pressed forward. The cyan rune grew larger and larger until it turned into a cyan mountain. It instantly arrived in front of Murong Qingqing, intending to suppress him. How terrifying! What a powerful divine ability! Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. A wisp of aura was able to create such a terrifying scene. This Yen Ryu was much stronger than they had imagined. She was definitely a top-tier saintess. Elder sister, you're really good at scheming. Since that's the case, I won't be polite either. Murong Qingqing waved her hand. Beside her, countless petals danced in the air, forming a flying flower slash that slashed towards the green mountain. With a kung chong sound, the two collided, causing heaven and earth to collapse. Countless cracks spread out. The surrounding artificial mountains, pavilions, and the ground flickered with runes, blocking all of the energy attacks. This made everyone feel much more at ease. Otherwise, just the energy shockwaves from this battle would have killed many people. Now that their lives were no longer in danger, everyone observed carefully. The more they watched, the more shocked they became. Although the two women spoke politely, their attacks were not careless at all. Every strike made everyone extremely shocked. Other than being speechless, Lin Xian was also shocked. This was because he had never seen Yen Ryu attack before. Now that he saw it, he was extremely shocked. Yen Ryu definitely had a terrifying divine ability. Moreover, he couldn't tell which sect she was from. What shocked him even more was that Yen Ryu didn't look like Zhao Shui at all. Previously, Zhao Shui was proficient in using eye techniques, especially the virtual sky eye, which was extremely mysterious. But now, Yen Ryu's divine ability was completely different from before. It seemed to belong to another school. What the hell is going on? Was she really the previous Zhao Shui? Lin Xian was a little doubtful now. Yi Wudao, Wu Hua, Gu Santong, and the others were also shocked. In the distance, the Yin Yang Saint, for symbol Saint, Dian Saint, Alcade Saint, and the others were also shocked. This was because the techniques and divine abilities of the two peerless beauties in front of them were too shocking. Beams of bright light and mysterious runes crisscrossed the sky. Each of them could easily pierce through a peerless expert. The two of them exchanged more than 100 blows. They were evenly matched, and it was difficult to determine the winner. All right, it's about time. The two of you should rest for a while. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian quickly stood up and stretched out two large hands. Suddenly, the air moved and turned into two waves that surrounded the two of them and separated the two of them. Seeing this scene, Murong Qingcheng retreated and didn't attack again. Yan Ryu, who was at the side, also stopped. After fighting for so long, sister must be tired. Come and have a taste of the spiritual tea. Murong Qingcheng said softly. All right, I'll do as you say. Yan Ryu also smiled. The two of them looked like good friends who hadn't seen each other in a long time. They were no longer fighting like before. This scene shocked everyone. A woman's heart was like a needle at the bottom of the sea. It was really terrifying. In the distance, Hua Tiandu looked at this scene and snorted coldly. He didn't expect the Jade Lake Saintess to be able to fight to a draw with Yan Ruyu. It was really surprising. However, the geniuses next to him laughed. Fairy Yan definitely didn't use her full strength. She didn't use her trump card. Otherwise, how could it be a draw? Yes, with Fairy Yan's identity, once she used her trump card, no matter how powerful or how talented the Jade Lake Saintess was, she wouldn't be able to withstand it. Hearing this, Hua Tiandu nodded. Indeed, if Yan Ryu used all her trump cards, perhaps only Yi Wudao and the Yi family's Saint Physique could contend with her. The others wouldn't be able to resist at all. Thinking of this, Hua Tiandu felt a lot more at ease. However, he still regretted that it would be great if Yan Ryu could attack Lin Xian. Of course, he knew that it was impossible. Therefore, he could only put his hope on the Heavenly Human Tribe's junior Heavenly King. Next, the crowd learned from each other and asked for advice. Even the saints and saintesses would open their mouths and give guidance to some ordinary disciples for the first time. This made everyone very excited. Not long after, the four-symbol saint stepped forward and challenged Yi Wudao. He wanted to spar with Yi Wudao in terms of physique and close combat. Yi Wudao agreed readily. The two of them exchanged 100 blows, and the four-symbol saint was forced to retreat. A saint physique was indeed unparalleled in the world. The four-symbol saint wasn't too upset because he knew how terrifying a saint physique was. The others were even more shocked. Although the four-symbol saint was forced to retreat, they didn't underestimate him at all. To be able to withstand so many blows from a saint physique and rely on his physique in close combat was definitely terrifying to the extreme. Other than a saint physique, there weren't many people who could contend with the four-symbol saint. Oh, how lively! Another sneer came from afar. Everyone turned around and saw a group of people walking over. Chapter 2677. Seeing this scene, everyone exclaimed. The people from the war tribe were here too. This was going to be interesting. In the crowd, the people from the Yin-Yang sect, Five Elements Palace, and Nine Heavens Sacred Ground all sneered. Many people looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. So what if the war tribe was here? He could easily defeat Zhang Chongfeng last time, and he could do the same this time. Therefore, he didn't care at all. He waved his hand and let them in. The prodigies of the war tribe walked with majestic gait, looking down on all directions. They brought with them a powerful aura that made everyone silent. So powerful, these people exclaimed. At the same time, they also noticed that there was another group of people beside the war tribe. These people were also glowing with powerful auras, but they were obviously not from the war tribe. Who were these people? How could they be on the same level as the war tribe? They were even surprised to find that Zhang Chongfeng and the other prodigies were half a step behind. Walking in front of them was a young man. He was a very handsome young man with a head of white hair that was unusually eye-catching. Not only this evil young man, but many people behind him also had white hair. It was very strange. Who were these people? Everyone was discussing. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes, feeling puzzled. Beside him, the Crimson Dragon also screamed. Heavenly human tribe. Heaven. It was actually the heavenly human tribe. They were actually here too. It seemed that this was indeed a golden age. Many ancient tribes had appeared. What was that? Lin Xian was surprised and turned around to ask. The Crimson Dragon said, like the war tribe, the heavenly human tribe was a tribe that had been passed down since ancient times. They claimed to be the descendants of heaven and knew how to use the power of heaven and earth, especially the legendary heavenly human tribe. They were really terrifying to the extreme. They could easily achieve the unity of heaven and man, and their use of the power of heaven and earth was many times stronger than other prodigies. However, like the war tribe, the heavenly human tribe had been living in seclusion for the past tens of thousands of years. No one knew if there were any heavenly human tribe members now. So powerful. Lin Xian was shocked. Celestial race. Just from this name, one could tell that it was an extremely powerful race. He never expected the other party to also appear. Moreover, what made him frown was that the other party was walking so closely with the war race. This wasn't a good sign. Kid, this is a golden age. You can't let your guard down. The Crimson Dragon reminded him via voice transmission. Although you're one of the top saints now, that's only in the human race. The human race was one of the 10,000 ancient races. When the Great Emperor contest took place, it wasn't just the human race. Many ancient hermit races would also show up. Zhanru and the heavenly human tribe were one of them. There were too many powerful tribes like them. All kinds of astonishing and heaven-defying physiques would emerge one after another. Therefore, on the path of becoming a great emperor, one must never relax. Hearing the Crimson Dragon's reminder, Lin Xian's expression turned grave. His eyes shone with a cold light. The 10,000 ancient races, it really made one's blood boil with anticipation. The other saints and saintesses were also discussing spiritedly. Yi Wudao, Wu Hua, Gu Santong, the great Xia Prince, and the others' eyes shone brightly. It was obvious that the arrival of the heavenly human tribe had brought them a sense of threat and oppression. Who knew if there would be other powerful tribes coming back to life after this? But no matter what, they knew that this might really be a golden age. Geniuses would emerge one after another, and all kinds of heaven-defying physiques would appear in this era. The older generation figures were even more envious and amazed. Was the road to becoming a great emperor about to open? If it did, the battle this time would be far more intense than before. Yes, the battle to become a great emperor was already fraught with difficulties. Now that a golden age had appeared, it would be extremely intense. The final great emperor would probably step on the corpses of countless tribes and sky prides to reach the top. Everyone was discussing spiritedly as they kept looking ahead. At the same time, the heavenly human tribe members were also looking around. Among them, Zhang Chongfeng was looking around, as if he was looking for something. When he saw Lin Xian, his eyes shone with a cold light, and the corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. He whispered a few words into the ears of the white-haired youth at the front. Sure enough, the youth heard something and turned to look at Lin Xian. His eyes were like two sharp divine swords that pierced through the void. Buzz, the space around Lin Xian instantly cracked open. Countless small cracks spread out in all directions. In addition to this eye technique, there was also a strong sense of oppression. But fortunately, Lin Xian was surrounded by top-tier sky prides, and Lin Xian was even more powerful. He snorted coldly, and a cold sword light appeared in his eyes as he charged forward. A sonorous sound rang out as their gazes collided in the air, and two pitch-black vortexes appeared in the void. They were bottomless. So powerful. The surrounding martial artists and sky prides were shocked. The older generation figure's eyelids were also twitching. The heavenly human tribe youth curled up the corners of his mouth into a cold smile. Interesting. You're worthy of my attack. What? He's going to attack. As soon as those words came out, everyone exclaimed. The entire place was in an uproar. Among them, many saints and saintesses instantly understood that the heavenly human tribe might be a powerful helper invited by the war tribe. At this moment, the heavenly human tribe's prodigy was probably helping the war tribe. That's right. Who would have thought that the heavenly human tribe would attack before the war tribe's number one sky pride appeared? There would probably be an earth-shattering battle soon. That was for sure. The heavenly human tribe was extremely powerful. They were one with the heavens and could use the extreme power of heaven and earth. They were definitely terrifying and mysterious. He wondered if Lin Xian would be able to withstand it. That would depend on which prodigy from the heavenly human tribe would attack. Everyone was in a heated discussion. Those from the Yin-Yang sect, Five Elements Palace, and Nine Heavens Sacred Ground sneered. They naturally knew how terrifying the heavenly human tribe was. With a prodigy from the heavenly human tribe attacking, that kid probably wouldn't be able to block them. On the other side, Gu Santong, Wu Hua, and the others frowned. To think that the war tribe would be able to find someone from the heavenly human tribe. How surprising, said Leaf Daudenier. Be careful. Brother Lin, that white-haired young man in the lead is no ordinary person. He seems to be from the heavenly human tribe and is known as the Little Sky King. Little Sky King. Hearing that name, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The surrounding saints and sky prides felt their eyelids twitch. That was a very arrogant name. He actually dared to call himself a Sky King. However, he added the word little in front of it, indicating that he was a Sky King of the younger generation. However, that was already very terrifying. At that moment, many people looked at Lin Xian with complicated expressions. Would Lin Xian be able to block them? Little Sky King? Lin Xian's eyes lit up as he stared at the white-haired young man. In the next moment, he spoke in a deep voice. You want to stand up for the war tribe? Chapter 2678. That's right. The Little Sky King stepped forward with his hands behind his back, looking arrogant. I'd like to see what kind of ability you have to provoke the war tribe. Make your move. I'll give you 3 moves. Hearing that, everyone's mouths twitched, as if they had seen a ghost. Arrogant. He's too arrogant. How powerful is Lin Xian? He's a top saint. He had easily defeated Zhang Chongfeng and had even killed many holy sons. How powerful was such a person? But now the Little Sky King said that he would give Lin Xian 3 moves. How confident and arrogant is that? As expected, Wu Hua, Gu Santong, and the others' expressions changed. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. Damn it, I really want to slap him. Kid, kill him. I heard that the heavenly human tribesmen have fragments of the laws in their bodies. Let's see if it's true. Hearing that, the surrounding people's mouths twitched as they looked at the Crimson Dragon in shock. Damn it, is this snake crazy? He wants to kill the Little Sky King of the heavenly human tribe? He really doesn't want to cause trouble. Brother Xian, be careful. Brother Lin Xian, do your best. On the side, Morong Qingcheng and Shin Jingqiu were also worried. Yen Ryu smiled, and her eyes flickered. It seemed that there would be a good show to watch. She was looking forward to the upcoming battle. At that moment, countless sky prides looked at Lin Xian. Lin Qingxian stood up, shook his robe, and said loudly, No need, I'll give you 10 moves. 10 moves? Hearing that, everyone was shocked and dumbfounded. The people of the war tribe and the heavenly human tribe looked gloomy, especially the people of the heavenly human tribe. How dare he? Who do you think you are to say that to the little Sky King? What a reckless kid. Today will be the day of your death. They felt that Lin Xian was too arrogant. The little Sky King's face also darkened, and his eyes lit up. Good, very good. I didn't expect someone to be more arrogant than me. However, do you have the right to be so arrogant? Do you have it? You can try. Good kid. You're really interesting. He is worthy of me making a move. However, I advise you to take out your true trump card and give it your all. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't have the chance to attack anymore. In the next moment, an incomparably terrifying aura gushed out of his body. It was as if a divine fire was burning fiercely. A powerful force suppressed the world. This time, it was as if he had really drawn a heavenly king. Everyone was trembling. Even the holy sons and holy daughters looked serious. They had to admit that the other party did have the capital and strength to be so arrogant. He was simply too powerful. Even Leaf Dowdenier had a very serious expression on his face. Lin Xian coldly snorted. His 9 yang divine body blossomed with light, making him look like a sun war god. Boom! He punched out, and there was a terrifying sound of thunder. Accompanied by a bright light, it was like a sun streaking across the sky. It was so powerful that the expressions of the surrounding people changed. Unexpectedly, Lin Xian was also incomparably terrifying, and from the looks of it, his strength was even more terrifying than when he was fighting Zhan Changfeng. As expected, the other party had not used his full strength earlier. Perhaps this was the true strength of the other party. Shocked voices could be heard one after another. However, the people of the heavenly human tribe were quite calm. That was because they were full of confidence in their little heavenly king. The little heavenly king squinted his eyes. No wonder Zhan Changfeng of the war tribe was defeated. The other party's fist was indeed terrifying. However, that was all. The other party was definitely not his match. In the next moment, he stretched out his vigorous palm and slapped forward. Suddenly, countless auras filled the air, forming a palm of light. It was like the palm of a god that could destroy everything. This palm blocked the fist that was as bright as the sun. Was this the power of heaven and earth? Everyone was shocked. Although they could also use the power of heaven and earth, it was insignificant compared to the other party. The other party's palm was too mysterious. It was so light, but it blocked such a terrifying fist. It really had the charm of using 4 tails to defeat 1,000 caddies. Lin Xian was also moved. Was this the power of the heavenly human tribe? They could turn something rotten into something magical. They were indeed worthy of their reputation. No wonder they were on equal footing with the war tribe. As for Leaf Dowdenier, he looked very serious. Lin Xian snorted coldly. His eyes burst out with an even colder light. The 9 yang divine body was also at full power. An incomparably terrifying aura spread out from his body. Not only did Lin Xian use the 9 yang divine body, but he also used the power of the great dragon sword soul. A loud dragon roar sounded. The dragon sword realm surrounded him, and terrifying sword light swept across the world. The sword light was accompanied by a dragon's roar. Feeling the sword chi, everyone's scalp went numb, and they kept retreating. The people of the war tribe and the heavenly human tribe also changed their expressions. Especially the heavenly human tribe, they were even more surprised. This guy was actually a swordsman. They thought that Lin Xian was a close combat expert. The little heavenly king's eyes also darkened, and a biting cold light bloomed in his eyes. I didn't expect you to be a swordsman. This was even more interesting. As he spoke, his palm moved, and countless energy danced in the air, forming a spiritual sword that bloomed with incomparable light. It appeared from the sky like a sort of a god descending from the sky. A terrifying sword chi burst out from the little heavenly king's body. I'm sorry, but I've also cultivated the sword Tao. What? This little heavenly king is also an expert of the sword Tao. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that both sides cultivated the sword Tao. This was going to be a good show. The prince of the great Xia dynasty had a solemn look. A golden light appeared on his body because he was also an expert of the sword Tao. Although Yi Wu Dao, the all-Cade sage Wu Hua, and the others were not experts of the sword Tao, they were also looking forward to this battle. Morong, Shun Jingxiu, and Yan Ryu, the three peerless beauties, also had flickering eyes. Among them, Shun Jingxiu snorted coldly. He was definitely not a match for Lin Xian. The people of the Yin-Yang sect and the Five Elements Palace laughed. An expert of the sword Tao. That's great. I think there's nothing more painful than defeating the opponent in the opponent's strongest field. In the pavilion, Hua Tiandu looked at this scene and grinned. Let's see if this kid still has the face to see Yan Ryu after he's defeated. Everyone sneered. Lin Xian was also surprised. His opponent was also an expert of the sword Tao. However, he was courting death for daring to compete with him. An expert of the sword Tao. I hope you won't cry later. Lin Xian smiled. In the next moment, he pulled out the dragon source sword and slashed down. You'll be the one crying later. The little heavenly king also held his spiritual sword and charged forward. The battle between the two was earth-shattering. One was like a sword immortal, while the other was like a sword god. Every time they collided, unparalleled light would erupt. Is this the power of the heavenly human tribe? It's too terrifying. Chapter 2679. Every time he used the power of heaven and earth, it was extremely terrifying. How was this a sword technique? It was simply destroying the world. The heavenly human tribe was one with heaven and man, and they could easily use the ultimate power of heaven and earth. Everyone even saw tribulation lightning falling from the sky. However, they were even more terrified of Lin Xian. Lin Xian was unharmed by such a terrifying tribulation lightning sword. What kind of physique did he have? If not for Lin Xian's surname, they would even suspect that Lin Xian was the second sage physique of the Yi family. Damn it, what was going on with this kid's physique? The people of the Yin-Yang sect, Five Elements Palace, and Nine Heavens Sacred Ground roared crazily. The four symbol saints stared at Lin Xian with his eyes wide open. Damn it, how could his physique be so strong? It's even more terrifying than my Dracophan physique. He was too shocked. He cultivated the four symbols sacred grounds physique, the Dracophan physique, which was extremely terrifying. Previously, with this powerful physique, he was able to exchange more than 100 blows with Yi Wu Dao before he was forced to retreat. One could only imagine how terrifying the Dracophan physique was. But now, he realized that Lin Xian's physique was even more terrifying than his Dracophan physique. He even speculated that it was not weaker than a sage physique. This was really shocking. Not only the four symbol saints, but the other saints and saintesses were also going crazy. Among them, the Taishan saint's eyes were like stars trying to see through Lin Xian's secret. The all-Cade saint's body was surrounded by light like a god fiend. It was also his first time seeing Lin Xian's nine eyes physique. He was also shocked. The people of the Yi family were even more shocked. In short, at this moment, everyone was shocked by Lin Xian's powerful physique. The people of the heavenly human tribe were also shocked. Damn it, who was he? How could he withstand the power of tribulation lightning? The little sky king's face darkened. Kid, let's see how long you can withstand it. He did not expect Lin Xian's physique to be so strong. Myriad lightning sword. The little Sky King held the spiritual sword and slashed down. The sky was torn apart and countless lightning bolts fell. Each of them contained the aura of the heavenly tribulation. Little Sky King had no choice but to use the power of heaven and earth to attack. Heavenly tribulation? You think you're the only one who knows how to do it? Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a sharp light. He waved the ancient dragon abyss sword, and the void beneath his feet split open. Countless lightning dragons rushed out. Every single one of them was incomparably terrifying, and they all exuded a world-destroying power. Boom, boom. The two forces collided in the heavenly palace. Thunder and lightning filled the sky, destroying the world. Then they dissipated in the air at the same time. It was blocked. He had actually blocked the power of the myriad tribulation sword technique. Damn it, what's wrong with this brat? How could he also know this kind of destructive lightning tribulation? Celestial clans, people were stupefied. Little Sky King's face fell, his white hair flying about crazily. The other saints and elites were also shocked. The Crimson Dragon sneered. With the great dragon sword soul, what kind of power could he not display? These heavenly humans were still too naive. Lin Xian used the chaotic yin-yang steps. Yin and yang qi appeared under his feet, and he disappeared into the void. When he reappeared, he was next to Little Sky King. He slashed with the ancient dragon source sword, and countless dragon shadows appeared on the sword light, exuding a primordial aura. Yin and yang qi. How could this brat know yin and yang qi? Everyone exclaimed, and the people of the yin-yang sect screamed. Damn it! The chaotic yin-yang steps. How could he know that? They were all crazy. Little Sky King couldn't care less about the yin and yang qi. He felt threatened. His opponent's sword was too terrifying, and it was as if it was going to cut him in half. At this moment, the ancient dragon abyss sword had turned into a divine rainbow. A loud dragon roar resounded, and Little Sky King's blood froze. However, Little Sky King was extremely powerful. He was one of the top elites of the younger generation. Immediately, two pairs of spiritual power wings appeared on his back. He flapped them gently and quickly retreated. It was like a fleeting shadow. At the same time, he waved his hand and slapped out. Mountains and rivers appeared in the void. The trees towered into the sky, and birds and beasts danced in the sky. It was like a real mountain. However, all of this was condensed from spiritual power. This was the power and means of the heavenly human tribe. Boom! The spiritual mountain fell from the sky and directly pressed Lin Xian under it. With a rumbling sound, the void shattered and countless black holes appeared. Seeing the scene, the people of the heavenly human tribe laughed out loud. Do you see that? This is the power of the Little Sky King. In front of me, you can't resist at all. Little Sky King sneered. The people of the war tribe also laughed. The people of the Yin-Yang sect, Huatiandu, and the Five Elements Palace also revealed ferocious expressions. The others were in an uproar. What a terrifying spiritual mountain! They quickly analyzed and felt that even they wouldn't be able to withstand it in a head-on confrontation, unless they could dodge it or had a terrifying body like Yi Wudao. This kid's body was strong, so he shouldn't die. However, he would definitely be injured. Yes, but if he was injured, he wouldn't have any advantage in front of Little Sky King. His opponent was also a top genius. If this dragged on, it would be disadvantageous for Lin Xian. It seemed that this time Lin Xian was really going to lose. Lin Xian was powerful, but Little Sky King was even more terrifying. Morong Qingcheng and Shin Jingqiu were also very worried. Their beautiful eyes were filled with worry. Yan Ruyu's eyes flickered, and no one knew what she was thinking. The calmest one was the Crimson Dragon. Just wait and see. That kid won't be defeated so easily. It and Lin Xian had killed more than one invincible king. How could they be defeated by a little sky king? Buzz, buzz, indeed. In an instant, a sword light lit up in the endless black hole, illuminating heaven and earth. In the next moment, the majestic spiritual mountain was split into two halves. Rumble. It turned into spiritual chi and shattered the void. Lin Xian's figure rushed out. His bright red robe trembled, but he wasn't injured at all. What? His physique is so strong. Damn it, this is impossible. The heavenly human screamed, and Little Sky King was sent flying with a grunt. That was because the sword had directly slashed his body. Fortunately, he had armor and spiritual shield on his body. Although he was sent flying, the sword didn't directly hit him. However, he still underestimated the great dragon sword's soul. Although the long sword didn't hit him, the sword chi passed through the spiritual shield and hit his body. It made his blood boil, and his face turned as pale as a sheet. Heavenly human tribe? Lin Xian looked up at Little Sky King in the distance and said indifferently. There was a hint of disdain in his words. Kid, you're courting death. Little Sky King stopped, and his eyes were extremely cold. You've completely angered me. I'll show you my true strength. Boom. The spiritual chi on his body exploded, and 9 vortexes appeared around him, crazily absorbing the power between heaven and earth. An incomparably vast aura burst forth, pressuring everyone to the point that they could not breathe. Chapter 2680. Giant Spirit Palm. He roared angrily and struck out with his palm. It formed in the sky. At that moment, a palm of light with a radius of 1,000 miles slammed down from the sky. The sky cracked and the airwaves rolled. Many people in the surroundings vomited blood and were sent flying backward. Their faces were full of fear. Damn it, is this guy crazy? The saints and saintesses also stood up as if they were facing a great enemy. Murong Qingcheng also stood up. She shouted, and countless powerhouses of the Jade Lake sacred ground appeared around her. They quickly formed hand seals, and a light array formation was formed covering the surrounding martial artists and the buildings of the Jade Lake to prevent them from being damaged by the energy impact. After doing that, she looked up at the sky because the power of that palm was too terrifying. She began to worry about Lin Xian. Damn it, is the heavenly human tribe still human? Why do I feel that the spiritual power he uses is not on the same level as ours at all? Those people are crazy. Those prodigies also felt a strong sense of oppression, as if they were facing a great enemy. A spiritual palm pressed down from the sky, trying to smash Lin Xian into pieces. Well, I'll let you see my true power. Lin Xian looked up at the sky and took a step forward. The sword chi on his body suddenly erupted. At that moment, he no longer hid his power. The sword chi soared into the sky and pierced through heaven and earth. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. A total of 9 sword chi formed around him. Each sword chi was as thick as a mountain and as sharp as divine light. They pierced through the 9 heavens. At that moment, the entire world began to tremble. No one in the Jade Lake came to watch the battle. They also looked up at the sky. Heavens, what is that? Someone is fighting. Who is it? What a terrifying sword chi. Let's go and take a look. One figure after another swiftly flew out. Even the powerful elders in the hall came out one after another and looked into the distance. It was the temple master. The eyes of Xing Tian and the others also flickered. Among them, the great guardian looked at the 1,000-mile palm and frowned. Look at the spirit chi. It's so terrifying. The heavenly human tribe has appeared. The patriarch of the Yi family said, in a deep voice. The other sacred leaders and elders also frowned. Is the Golden Age coming? Even the heavenly human tribe had come out. Who knew how many of the 10,000 ancient races would appear? Looks like we really have to hurry up and join forces to open the myriad dragon nest. We must obtain the treasures inside. Otherwise, the human race will not have the upper hand in the Emperor Road contest. These people fought even further. Soon, they withdrew their gazes and entered the palace again. On the other side, the 9 heavenly sword lights collided with the gigantic spirit palm. The heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. The mountains and rivers shattered. A crack that was tens of thousands of miles long appeared in the void. Fortunately, this was the Jade Lake's sacred land, where there were countless formations and supreme weapons. Therefore, everyone was safe and sound. However, the sky was completely chaotic. Those martial artists also acted as if they were facing a great enemy. The weaker ones were directly pressed to the ground, unable to move at all. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, the swords of the 5 elements. Lin Xian suddenly stretched out his hand and pointed at the 5 streaks of sword chi in front of him. Wang, the power of the 5 elements burst forth, and the 5 elemental swords quickly combined into one. Then, the sword pierced through the sky. A hole appeared in the giant spirit's palm. Boom! With a loud boom, the heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. Thousands of lightning bolts fell, and the people below trembled. Those from the heavenly human tribe also turned pale. Damn it, he broke the giant spirit palm. Kid, you're courting death. Little Sky King was furious. Although the giant palm was pierced, it did not dissipate. Not only that, but the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth also appeared on the 5 fingers. Do you think you're the only one who can use the power of the 5 elements? You're too naive to use the power of heaven and earth in front of me. Let me show you what it means to be one with heaven and earth. The terrifying palm of the 5 elements appeared in the sky. The aura it exuded made everyone tremble in fear. With a loud boom, the palm of the 5 elements collided with the sword of the 5 elements. The two produced an earth-shattering sound. Countless large cracks appeared in the void. The saints and saintesses below exclaimed. Some of the older generation powerhouses were even shocked. The palm of the 5 elements was too terrifying. Had it surpassed the 5 elemental palace? That's right. The powerhouses of the 5 elemental palace also had ugly expressions. They cultivated the arts of the 5 elements. However, they found that the power of the 5 elements displayed by Little Sky King was even more terrifying than theirs. Was this the power of the heavenly human tribe? It was too terrifying. The people of the 5 elemental palace trembled, but soon they sneered. The more powerful Little Sky King was, the more dangerous Lin Xian would be. It would be best to kill him. Sure enough, in an instant, the sword of the 5 elements trembled under the palm of the 5 elements. Even the light on it dimmed. You want to compete with me in the power of heaven and earth? You have no chance of winning. Little Sky King was very strong. Is that so? Let me tell you today. There is a kind of power that transcends heaven and earth. Lin Xian's eyes also burst out a fierce light, and the great dragon sword soul in his body roared. The power of the great dragon sword soul surged in. Suddenly, the dim sword of the 5 elements burst out a bright light, sweeping in all directions. In an instant, the sword of the 5 elements was blasted away. What? His sword of the 5 elements could still increase its power. The people around were shocked. The people of the 5 elemental palace almost knelt down, because the power of the 5 elements that Lin Xian displayed, now was even more terrifying than Little Sky King's. Impossible! How could he surpass Little Sky King? The people of the 5 Elemental Palace screamed crazily. Little Sky King vomited blood and flew backward. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, staining his spiritual armor red. Kid, you deserve to die. Little Sky King roared. The spiritual power wings on his back flapped, and he disappeared in an instant. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian frowned. He quickly changed his position and dodged. However, this time, Little Sky King obviously used a secret technique, so his speed was faster than Lin Xian expected. Whoosh! He appeared beside Lin Xian. The spiritual sword in his hand turned into a divine light and directly slashed down. Bang! This sword slashed Lin Xian's body and blasted Lin Xian away. The space in the sky was also shattered. However, there was still no blood flowing in the sky. This made everyone dumbfounded. What kind of physique was this? It was too sturdy. He took a direct hit from Little Sky King and was not injured. Kid, let's see how long you can hold on. Little Sky King roared. His white hair fluttered, and the spiritual power wings on his back bloomed with an incomparable light. He flashed at the extreme speed. For a moment, thousands of figures appeared in the sky, each of them launching a biting cold attack. Countless streaks of sharp sword light slashed toward Lin Xian. I am Little Sky King. I should suppress everything. You are no match for me at all. The arrogant voice made everyone tremble. They felt that they could not resist. At this moment, the figures of Little Sky King were everywhere in the sky and on the ground, and each of these figures was extremely terrifying. They directly drowned Lin Xian. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.